We are live here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, just hours away from the 68th Space Shuttle launch of a 7-member crew and the Astro 2 payload. Astro 2 payload is a series of unique telescopes to probe the invisible universe. Space Shuttle Endeavour is poised at Launch Pad 39A, ready for the second launch of the year. All countdown events are on schedule, and the launch team here in Firing Room 3 is not tracking any technical issues that would prevent an on-time launch at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time. The window extends today for 2.5 hours, or until 4:07. All crew members are now awake and preparing for the launch. The STS-67 commander is Stephen Oswald, who is making his third trip into space today. Pilot for this mission, United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel William Gregory, is flying aboard the shuttle for the first time today. Serving as payload commander is Dr. Tamara Jernigan. She's making her third shuttle flight today. Two payload specialists, Dr. Sam Durrance and Dr. Ronald Parise, are both flying for the second time today. Two mission specialists, Dr. John Grunsfeld, flying for the first time, and Navy Lieutenant Commander Wendy Lawrence, also flying for the first time today. In just a few minutes, we will be getting live coverage of the flight crew sitting down to have their pre-flight meal. Crew has been divided up onto two teams, the red and the blue team, so that they can operate in two different shifts during the flight for 24 hours of data collection. And after the flight crew has their meal, they will receive the routine weather update, don their launch and entry suits, and board the astronaut van for the trip to the pad. Endeavour will be launched into an orbit inclined 28.45 degrees to the equator and will be at an altitude of 190 nautical miles. Today's prime transoceanic abort landing sites are Ben Guerir, Morocco, and Morón, Spain. Landing of the 16-day flight is planned at Kennedy Space Center on March 17th at 3:09 p.m. Eastern Time. The exact mission elapsed time is planned for 15 days, 13 hours, and 32 minutes. This Astro 2 flight will allow scientists to learn what elements are present in the targeted celestial objects, as well as identify physical processes taking place. Simultaneous observations by the three telescopes will complement one another as they provide different perspectives on the same celestial objects. These observations will also complement those of ultraviolet instruments on other NASA spacecraft, such as the Hubble Space Telescope, the International Ultraviolet Explorer, and the Extreme Ultraviolet Explorer, all currently in operation. In the last few hours, the external tank has been loaded with its flight load of 500,000 gallons of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellants. The final inspection team and the closeout crew are making preparations and are out at the pad getting their job complete in preparation for launch. Weather conditions are indicating we still have about a 40% chance of having acceptable conditions. We're looking primarily at an issue with cloud cover and possibly having some rain showers in the area at the time we plan to launch tonight. We do have all weather aids up and running, and still looking optimistic for the weather conditions for an on-time launch at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time for the Shuttle Endeavour and mission STS-67. Launch team is now on station here in Firing Room 3 at the Launch Control Center, just 3.5 miles away from Launch Pad 39A. Console operators are monitoring the propellant inside the external tank, the fuels, liquid hydrogen, and also the liquid oxygen. These remain in a stable replenish mode until minutes before liftoff, when they go to flight pressure.
I got a few steps here for ATL to configure
And we will be
Brad bypass.
standing by for live pictures of
Yeah,
the astronauts getting their pre-flight meal from the crew quarters. Should be having those pictures within the next 10 minutes. Everything's going on schedule, and no technical issues are being tracked at this time. At T-minus 3 hours and holding, this is shuttle launch control. We are standing by now to receive live pictures from the astronauts having breakfast in the crew quarters at the Operations and Checkout building. And here we have the crew of mission STS-67. Here we have Dr. Ron Paris, payload specialist, flying on the shuttle for the second time today. Sitting next to him is Dr. John Grunsfeld, also flying for the second time as a payload specialist. And we have the rookie pilot, Bill Gregory, Commander Steve Oswald, flying for the third time today. Payload Commander Tamara Jernigan. She's also flying aboard the shuttle for the third time today. And we have Sam Durant flying aboard the shuttle again. And we have rookie Wendy Lawrence, also the flight engineer. Crew will be going into a weather briefing, getting an update on conditions here at Kennedy Space Center and also at the transoceanic abort sites. Then they'll get into their launch and entry suits and ride out to the launch pad, climb aboard the shuttle and prepare for launch today. Crew getting ready for a 16-day flight. Out at the launch pad, things are going well. All activities are on schedule for a liftoff at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time. At T-minus 3 hours and holding, this is shuttle launch control. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We've got about 51 minutes remaining in this built-in hold of 2 hours. Getting some live shots now at launch pad 39A. Got the final inspection team dressed in their bright orange suits, making their inspections out of the vehicle and walking up and down the launch tower. They walk up and down the different levels, take pictures, operate handheld infrared scanners to take temperature measurements of various parts of the vehicle. They look for any ice or debris that might be on the vehicle or around the launch pad area that might be a hazard or something to watch out for during the ascent portion of the flight. The final inspection team spends about an hour or so out at the launch pad, and the team leader is NASA's Greg Katnick from here at Kennedy Space Center. And other members on the team tonight include Ken Tenbush, John Blue, and Scott Otto, and Mike Barber. The team made a survey out at the launch pad yesterday, and they will be making another inspection during daylight hours after the launch. They also review high-speed film of the actual launch. They make a report and look for anything unusual and document the whole launch pad area and also the filming area. Our launch countdown began at 2 a.m. at the T-minus 43 hour mark on Monday, and things have proceeded very smoothly in our launch countdown for mission STS-67, bringing us up to this point at the T-minus 3 hour mark. We've got about 49 minutes remaining in our built-in hold. The flight crew is awake and have had their meal, and they will be going into a weather briefing. They will be using the NASA satellite for the briefing, so we will lose the video coming down, being fed out for about 20 minutes. We will continue to have audio coverage of the countdown events, and of course when the crew is finished with the weather briefing, we will regain control of the satellite for programming of this morning's live launch coverage. We will have local pictures at the Kennedy Space Center area. Those people here at Kennedy will continue to receive pictures of the launch pad and the firing room area. But those viewing by satellite will only hear audio while the crew is using the satellite for the weather conditions, for their weather briefing with flight controllers in Houston. And this is a routine event in our launch countdown. Crew will get a weather update of conditions here in Florida and also at the transoceanic abort sites overseas and at the abort once around landing site in California. T-minus 3 hours and holding. This is shuttle launch control. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. Got pictures of the ICE team, final inspection team on the 0 level of the mobile launcher platform, which is really just the top portion of the launch platform. You can see the aft section there of one of the solid rocket boosters. ICE team members are walking around making their inspections.
Channel F6, instrument power switch.
They wear the bright orange suits so they can be easily tracked. These are standard inspections that they perform on every one of the during every one of the launch countdowns at this time in the count.
Power switch on.
Crew has to wait until the external tank is fully loaded before they are allowed
Channel R1.
out to the launch pad. And of course now we are in a stable replenish mode
Cells 1, 2, and 3.
with the
All three on.
loading activity, and everything is in a safe mode for the team to be out there.
2, 3 are coming on.
We're now going to transfer the satellite to
Off 1 second.
to be used for the weather briefing for the flight crew, between the flight crew and flight controllers.
Talk back.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. With the conclusion of the weather briefing, we now have the satellite back for programming here at Kennedy Space Center. Weather conditions are continuing to be monitored by flight controllers and launch controllers here at KSC. Conditions at both transoceanic abort sites, Ben Guerir, Morocco, and also Morón, Spain, look very good for this launch attempt. Conditions here in Florida are continuing to be monitored. Concern of low clouds in the area at the time we would like to launch at 1:37 a.m. We've got bands of weather moving through the area, and we're hopeful that we would have a clearing in the 2.5-hour window we have to launch the shuttle Endeavour.
3:30.
Meanwhile, out at the launch pad in the White Room and at the 195-foot level, which is the point where the crew enters into the crew module, the closeout crew personnel are continuing to make preparations for the crew's arrival. There are several people in the closeout crew and members of the Lockheed NASA team. Also, we've got astronaut support personnel, Scott Horowitz on the team. Several other astronaut support personnel are here helping to prepare for the launch at 1:37 on tomorrow. Those people would be Marsha Ivins, Steve Smith, and Joe Tanner. Also, astronaut Bob Cabana will be flying the weather reconnaissance aircraft from the shuttle landing facility here at Kennedy Space Center, checking out actual weather conditions in the area, and he'll be feeding that information back to launch controllers. We've got about 21 minutes remaining in this built-in hold at the T-minus 3-hour mark. All other events in our launch countdown sequence are on schedule. No technical problems are being tracked by the launch team. So looking for an on-time launch of Endeavour at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time at T-minus 3 hours and holding. This is shuttle launch control.
Okay, payload, flow prop valve loop 1 going. Payload heat exchanger mark.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We're standing by now to get pictures of the astronauts getting into their launch and entry suits. They're over at the operations and checkout building in the flight crew quarters, getting ready for their first day of the 16-day flight. Countdown clock has remained at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We've got about 9 minutes remaining in this hold as we prepare for the 68th Space Shuttle mission, and we have the crew for STS-67 getting into their suits. Mission Commander Steve Oswald getting ready to command the mission today. He has overall responsibility for the mission. And the pilot have just been through the weather briefing and getting into their suits. Got to go through a series of tests to make sure they can communicate with their suits and that all systems on the suits are working properly. Oswald is a member of the Red Team, and he's piloted 2 previous missions, STS-42 in 1992 and STS-56 in 93.
Report now, theater on mic.
And we have pilot Bill Gregory holding a picture.
Copy. Thank you.
He's giving a thumbs up. He's ready to go.
CGSS.
Some of the other members of the team have already gotten into their suits while the commander and pilot were going through the weather briefing. We have Sam Durant, Ron Paris.
Go ahead. I have a few steps for the ask for us to.
After the crew completes their suit-up activities, they'll be riding out to the launch pad, where they will be going out to the white room, where they'll be further assisted with the rest of the gear that they'll take on board with them. And we have mission specialist Wendy Lawrence flying for the first time on the shuttle today, also giving her thumbs up. She's the flight engineer for ascent and re-entry, and also the pilot on the blue shift. And we have payload commander Tammy Jernigan, also ready to go.
Go ahead.
Flying for the 3rd time today.
R12. I'm ready.
Mission Commander Stephen Oswald. As the crew continues to prepare for this morning's launch, out at the launch pad, the closeout crew is finishing up. The final inspection team is also finishing up. And here in the Launch Control Center, the STS-67 Prime Launch Team is on station here in Prime Room 3. And the team's not tracking any technical issues at this point in time. Just methodically going through the countdown procedure right on schedule. Got about 5 minutes remaining in this built-in hold. At T-minus 3 hours and holding, this is Shuttle Launch Control. This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 3 hours and counting. Countdown now has resumed. Come out of our planned built-in hold. That hold did last for 2 hours. This is the routine in our launch countdown. We do have 2 remaining built-in holds that are planned. They're at the standard times, T-minus 20 minutes and T-minus 10 minutes, and they last for 10 minutes in duration. We do expect to get the crew departing the operations and checkout building at about 10:22 this evening. They'll be going out to the launch pad. The ride out there is about 30 minutes. While the crew is riding out to the launch pad, we will show a processing flow tape of activities that have happened here at Kennedy Space Center and preparing the payload and the vehicle elements over the last few months and getting ready for the launch in just a couple of hours. All is going well in our countdown. T-minus 2 hours, 58 minutes and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control. Here we have the astronauts for STS-67 on the 3rd floor of the operations and checkout building. And now going down the hallway, going to an elevator. Astronaut Bob Cabana is in the blue suit, and he will be flying weather reconnaissance along with other team members. Steve Hawley and Frank Newman, members of the team that help get all of the astronauts prepared for the launch. KSC employees standing by to wish the crew well as soon as they come out of the elevator. And there we have the crew of STS-67 getting into the astronaut van for the 20 or 30 minute ride out to launch pad 39A. Crew's been in training for quite a while, getting ready for the upcoming 16-day flight. Flight will be the longest in the history of the Space Shuttle program. However, there have been longer previous space flights. This one is scheduled to break the record for the shuttle program. This flight will mark the 8th flight of the shuttle Endeavour, and it will be the 68th flight in the Space Shuttle program. This will be our 10th night launch in the history of the shuttle program, and the second launch for 1995.
Verified.
KSC security will escort the astronaut van to the launch pad area, blocking off traffic so that they will have a non-stop ride out there.
Verified. STS verified. Yes.
And the crew is off. Everyone is on their way to the launch pad area. Of course, only the crew members will be going out there. Meanwhile, back at the pad, everything's going fine, getting ready for the flight crew's arrival.
Signal personnel on 212-232-136. Flight crew is departing.
NASA Test Director Bill Dowdell is now advising the launch team the crew is on their way to the pad, and for them to notify him if there is anything that he needs to be advised of with respect to the crew arriving at the pad.
Here's APU.
At T-minus 2 hours, 51 minutes, and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control. This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 2 hours, 46 minutes, and counting. Launch team is verifying that they have no launch commit criteria with respect to the crews arriving out at the launch pad. We do have a processing tape that we will be running here showing the preparations at KSC for the STS-67 mission, and they went smoothly for the Astro 2 and secondary payloads and the vehicle elements. We'll be showing that short video illustrating the operations completed here in the last few months. Preparations were completed here at KSC's payload processing facilities, assembling the telescopes, performing the proper testing and the checkout. The 3 telescopes include the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope developed at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, the Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope developed by NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, and the Wisconsin Ultraviolet Photopolarimeter Experiment developed at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. The simultaneous observations by the three telescopes will complement one another as they provide different perspectives on the same objects. Also, the Astro 2 observations will complement the instruments on other NASA spacecraft that are currently in operation, such as the Hubble Space Telescope. Payload was taken to the orbiter processing facility, and here we see it being lowered into the bay of the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Very, very slow and methodical process, making sure everything is in place. You can see the robot arm on the side of the orbiter payload bay, and some workers in the overhead moving device where they can observe the activity going on. The first flight of Astro took place in December of 1990 and lasted 9 days. Here we see the Shuttle Endeavour in the vehicle assembly building in a vertical position, connected to the tank and the solid rocket boosters, and mounted, of course, on the launch platform. And, of course, the subsequent rollout to Launch Pad 39A. This Astro 2 mission will look at objects as close as our nearest neighbor, the Moon, less than 250,000 miles from Earth, and as far away as celestial bodies called quasars, an estimated 10 billion light years from Earth. Crew is continuing their journey out to the pad and will bring you live pictures of the crew at the White Room as they get into their launch and entry suits in preparation for launch. Opening of our window still coming at 1:37, several hours away from now. We're still keeping a close eye on weather conditions here in the Florida area, looking at the situation with the clouds being the issue here in Florida. T-minus 2 hours, 42 minutes and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control. This is Shuttle Launch Control. The STS-67 crew has arrived at Launch Pad 39A at the 195-foot level. Just getting off the elevators, and they will be walking across the orbiter access arm. The pilot, Bill Gregory, just giving a wave here. Crew's getting ready to climb aboard the orbiter. This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 2 hours, 31 minutes and counting. Commander Oswald now getting ready to climb aboard the orbiter Endeavour, making his third flight today. We recently spoke with him, and he made some comments on what his 16-day flight will be like.
I'm hoping that I finally gain an appreciation for what it's like just to live on orbit for a couple of weeks, and we'll probably be able to understand better what it will be like to be up there for longer periods of time on a space station, whether it be Mir or ISSA. So that to me is the big deal. I'm thinking this is going to be a different kind of a flight than I've had before, just from a getting used to the environment over a longer period of time at a different pace.
Copy.
Commander Oswald earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering from the Naval Academy. He was a Navy test pilot and is still affiliated with the U.S. Naval Reserve. He will be in charge of all medical tests and monitoring during his shift. Also having overall responsibility for the mission and safe return of the crew and orbiter. He joined NASA in 1984 as an aerospace engineer and instructor pilot. And Oswald was selected as an astronaut candidate in 1985. He has logged more than 6,000 hours in 40 different aircraft.
CLS, what do you say? CLS 1212. Yeah, step 449. You ready to give me that one? Yes, sir. We're just coming to you with that. The standby step switch start is complete, and we can give you steps 440 through 449 And on step 444, KSCA is an alpha was selected.
Copy, and I'll give you 454.
Okay, sir, we'll put that in work.
Payload specialist Ron Parise from Warren, Ohio, is getting ready to climb aboard the shuttle today. He recently talked about the importance of space research.
Space research right now, astronomy is very much and may always be in its infancy because the universe is such a complex place that we really haven't gotten to the point where we can explain it yet. And but as we go along, we can we slowly put a little bit more, a couple of more pieces in the puzzle, and I think eventually we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to leave this Earth anyway. We've got a lot of people here. We have overpopulation. We have a lot of other problems, and what has always come out of that in the past when you've had overcrowding of countries and so forth is you have a migration somewhere else. You cross the ocean, you go look for natural resources. That's going to be another problem, is using up natural resources here, and we've got to go someplace else to find them if we want to survive. And so astronomy and space research are the basic building blocks that we're going to need to know about in order to be able to pursue that kind of exploratory activity in the future, which will be a practical application.
By the way, perform TMT and ET adjustment.
GPS copy.
OTC, OVCC, PS2 board.
Ron Parise and Sam Durant both flew together on the Astro 1 mission back in 1990. Parise is a Red Team payload specialist and a senior scientist in the Space Observatory's Department of Computer Sciences Corporation.
OVCC, OTC. OVCC.
He's a member of the Ultraviolet Imaging Team Telescope. Parise received his doctorate in astronomy from the University of Florida. He has pursued his research under a NASA grant using the Orbital International Ultraviolet Explorer satellite. Pilot William Gregory, a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force from Lockport, New York, is being assisted right now. He's holding up a message. Can't really read it from here. He recently spoke about his selection as a NASA astronaut.
Well, being an astronaut, I think, is something that all little kids consider at one time or another, or being a policeman or a fireman or a football player. I don't think there are too many 5-year-olds running around saying they want to become an account executive. And so what ends up happening for most of us is society explains to us over and over, hey, this is something that just doesn't happen, and the odds are against it. And so most people channel their efforts elsewhere. I always wanted to be a pilot and a fighter pilot, and that all worked out. I wanted to become a test pilot, and suddenly I found myself graduating from test pilot school with the right credentials to send an application in, so I did, and I was pleasantly surprised.
CLS, OTC.
CTLS.
Yes, sir. Step 461, you ready to give it to me?
No, sir, this process takes about a half an hour.
Okay. Copy.
OTC, CLFC.
Go ahead.
Yes, I can report complete with 511 and 512, and I give you a go to proceed with post-ingress switch reconfiguration.
513, copy. HASP, OTC.
Go ahead.
Perform post egress switch reconfiguration and switch guard removal for your checklist.
Okay, after I get the pilot in, I will.
Copy.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 2 hours, 16 minutes and counting down to the launch of STS-67, looking for an on-time liftoff at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time. Crew members are now taking their assigned seats inside the orbiter Endeavour out at Launch Pad 39A. 2 of the crew members are already inside. We've got another 5 crew members waiting their turn to climb aboard the shuttle Endeavour. Crew getting ready to embark on a planned 16-day flight, the longest flight to date for the Space Shuttle program. This will mark the 68th Space Shuttle mission. and the 8th flight for the Shuttle Endeavour. This will mark our 10th night launch in the history of the Space Shuttle program. In the Astro 2 mission, we'll look at objects as close as our nearest neighbor, the Moon, less than 250,000 miles from Earth, and as far away as celestial bodies called quasars, an estimated 10 billion light years from Earth. Instead of visible light, Astro's 3 powerful telescopes will study the invisible universe of ultraviolet radiation at the higher energy and shorter wavelength side of the electromagnetic spectrum. And scientists are particularly interested in studying the universe in ultraviolet science, since the hottest and most active objects in the universe give off large amounts of ultraviolet energy.
Yes, sir.
NTD, CDR, contact.
CDR, this is NTD. I've got you loud and clear. Good morning, Steve.
Morning, Bill. You're on clear, too.
OTC, CBSE on 212.
Yes, sir. Step 584 and 5. Perform or not perform?
They are not performed this evening.
Copy.
Houston Endeavour, CDR, contact.
Endeavour Houston, we have you loud and clear. Good evening, I think, for you, Steve.
It was morning just a little while ago, but it's awful dark outside. So you must be right.
Yeah, we copy that.
Payload Commander Tammy Jernigan now getting ready for her 3rd flight today. She recently commented on the importance of the Astro 2 mission.
Well, I believe that the study of the universe is one of the great adventures of all time. We know that we live in a solar system and that our sun provides the energy necessary to sustain life. We know that our solar system resides in a spiral galaxy, the Milky Way, and we know that that galaxy is just one of millions of other galaxies in our vast universe. And so understanding what our place is in the universe, how our sun forms, what its ultimate fate will be, is a truly wonderful adventure. And I think this is basic to our own curiosity about our place in the universe.
A little bit. Page 59, are we going to have to do that?
Negative, that's not performed, sir.
Copy.
GPS.
Go ahead.
CMTAT adjustment complete, giving step 565.
Copy. OTC, OBCC, PLT aboard. Copy.
Payload Commander Tammy Jernigan is on the blue team, and she's crew member with the overall responsibility for the successful operation of the payload. She earned a bachelor's degree in physics and a master's degree in engineering science, both from Stanford University. She also has a master's degree in astronomy from the University of California at Berkeley and a doctorate in space physics and astronomy from Rice University. She was a research scientist in the Theoretical Studies branch at NASA's Ames Research Center for 4 years until she was named an astronaut candidate in 1986. Her 2 previous space shuttle flights have been STS-40 in 1991 and STS-52 in 1992.
OTC, CGLS.
Go ahead.
Step 461, complete implementation of step 92, and that's all steps on that page.
Copy.
The crew will be making voice checks with flight controllers and launch controllers here in Florida. Some of the voices you'll be hearing, OTC stands for Orbiter Test Conductor, and that's George Gross tonight. The NTD stands for NASA Test Director, and that is Bill Dowdell this evening. Both are sitting here in the firing room and are running the countdown procedure, talking to members of the launch team and also the flight crew.
GLS, OTC.
Go ahead, sir.
567, form GLS initialization by the clock.
Okay, will do.
CGSS, what do you say?
This is CGSS.
567, you pick it up by the clock.
Copy that. OTC, CGSS.
Yes, sir.
You mean 576?
Yes, sir.
Dr. John Grunsfeld
OTC,
is a member of the red team,
DLT, OTC,
and he's
loud
now
clear.
getting
Morning,
ready
Bill.
to climb into the shuttle. He's a research physicist and
No,
astronomer.
PS2.
Oh, PS2.
And he
Get
recently
loud and clear.
talked
Good morning, Ron.
about his unique advantage and the
Morning,
advantage we
loud
all
and clear.
have in being able to explore the universe.
We're a curious animal, I think, and I think all animals are curious to a certain level, but humans in particular, we love a mystery. And whether it's, what's across an ocean or what's in your own backyard, how things work, all of those things, have always fascinated me, and I think that's a common experience for everyone. And when you look up at the cosmos, you add the element of beauty. Space has many, many beautiful things.
NTD, this is
and
PS2 for
they
contact.
seem unreachable. And, of course, the stars twinkle. And we know that the cosmos is not a steady
You're loud and
state
clear also.
thing, that things change. And change is very interesting. Planets
Houston,
change their
this is
position in the
PS2
sky,
for
the moon
contact.
changes its phase. And
Endeavor
I'm
Houston,
sure that
PS2. Ron, we have you loud and clear. Help me.
wolves and gorillas,
Loud and clear.
everybody looks up and
Yeah,
wonders
you're loud
about
and clear,
the
Ron.
sky. And, for us, we have this remarkable ability now to be able to go out and explore and try and understand how those things work. And they've brought us some incredible surprises: neutron stars, black holes, even the Big Bang itself. If the universe started in a Big Bang, our ability to understand that is in itself a remarkable feat. And that just feeds additional curiosity.
Dr. Grunsfeld received a bachelor's degree in physics from Massachusetts Institute of Technology and a master of science degree and a doctor of philosophy degree in physics, both from the University of Chicago.
RSRT. Step 5.
He was selected by NASA in 1992
And I'll need the T number when you're done.
as an astronaut.
They copy. OTC, RSRT. Yes, sir. Tape change is complete. Step 586. Tech number 2022. Copy.
Dr. Grunsfeld's research includes both X-ray and gamma-ray astronomy, including a study of X-ray pulsars using the NASA Compton Gamma Ray Observatory. He served as a visiting scientist at the University of Tokyo Institute of Space and Astronautical Science and as a NASA Graduate Student Fellow at the University of Chicago as the W.D. Granger Postdoctoral Fellow in Experimental Physics at the University of Chicago.
Sequence 161066.
Copy. CGNC, OTC.
Go ahead.
589 and 590, pick up by the clock.
Thank you.
Payload specialist Sam Durrance is now the second to the last one who will be getting inside the shuttle. This will be his second flight today. He has had we recently talked to him, and he's talked about how he has had a long-time interest in becoming an astronaut.
Well, it really started in '69, I guess, July the 20th, when we landed on the moon. And at that time, I was doing something else, and I decided that I wanted to go to school and study and get involved in that somehow, never really anticipating that I would get involved at this level and actually be an astronaut, fly in space. And from that point on, whenever there was a decision to be made, a career path or something like that, I always moved in the direction of space flight.
And he just held up a message to his family saying hello to his wife and children, and to his mother. And that message looks like probably would be from both of them. Durrance is a principal research scientist in the Physics and Astronomy Department at the Johns Hopkins University, and also a co-investigator and assistant project scientist for the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope. His astronomy research focuses on the origin and evolution of planets. He's the payload specialist on the blue team. He earned a doctorate in astrogeophysics from the University of Colorado. Durrance was born in Tallahassee, Florida, but considers Tampa to be his hometown. The two payload specialists aboard today, while they're not career astronauts, they've been training off and on as space travelers and as astro payload operators for about 11 years. Again, Durrance and Paris flew together on the first Astro mission, and they were chosen by the principal investigators of the Astro experiments to oversee the on-orbit operation of the payload.
577, 578 are complete. Copy.
OTC, CFCP 212.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just give you and the test team a heads up. We'd like to let NTD know we're going to be performing our troubleshoot on that IPR 125.
Okay, just a minute. FCP, OTC.
It's FCP.
Go to channel 232, please.
OTC, CTLS.
Yes, go ahead.
Step 568. FEP dual interrupt notification will be activated momentarily and may cause renunciation of error messages at systems consoles for interrupt monitor parameters currently out of GLS limits. And with that, if we can get a CMQC on channel 162, please.
CMQC? I copy 162.
OTC, PLT, contact.
PLT, OTC, got you loud and clear. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, George. Looks good out there.
Thank you.
NTD, PLT, contact.
PLT, this is NTD. Bill, I got you loud and clear. How you read me?
Bill, I've got you loud and clear also. Good morning.
Good morning.
Houston, PLT, contact.
Bill, we have you loud and clear in Houston. How me?
Hi, Kurt. I've got you loud and clear also. Thanks.
Bill, you're loud and clear, and welcome aboard.
OTC asked the CDR and PLT ingress is complete and request go for the post-ingress switch reconfiguration per the asked checklist.
You got to go.
In work. OTC, the post-ingress switch reconfig is complete.
Copy. You ready to pick up?
Next is, we're going to do the ICOM volume adjust next, if you're ready.
Affirmative. You got to go. ISO.
ISO.
522. He's doing the caution warning alarm adjust.
Copy. 9.
OTC, CGMC.
Go ahead.
We'd like your concurrence to pick up 600 by the clock, please.
You got to go.
Thank you.
The ICOM volume adjust is complete.
Copy. 526. OTC, OVCC, PS1 aboard. PS1, copy.
OTC, CFCP.
Go ahead.
Can I get a CMQC to come up on 153, and that'll be to support step 601, our fuel cell purge.
CMQC.
Copy 153.
OTC, OVCC, MS1 aboard. Copy. All systems verify, ready for crew module closeout. Step 604. Ask OTC.
Go ahead.
Close out crew module for flight for your checklist.
Okay, after I get everybody strapped in.
STS-67 flight engineer Wendy Lawrence. She's also a commander in the United States Navy and born in Jacksonville, Florida. Is getting ready to board the shuttle today. She's the last one to climb aboard the shuttle, and she will be seated in the flight deck, in the seat in between the commander and the pilot, in the flight engineer's seat. We recently spoke to Wendy, and she said that since childhood she has always been interested in becoming an astronaut.
My grandfather, my mother's father, was a naval aviator. My father was a naval aviator, so I think from an early age I developed a fascination with aviation. And my father was actually involved in the selection for the first group of astronauts. He made the final cut when they discovered that he had a small heart murmur, and he was disqualified at that point in time. But in the mid-50s, he had been a test pilot with John Glenn. He's a good friend of Alan Shepard. So for me as a young child, watching these first Americans go up in space, that was John Glenn, your neighbor. Your brother and sister played with his children. Alan Shepard, a good friend of the family. So that brought it much nearer and dearer to my heart. And I wanted to be an astronaut ever since I watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. I still remember sitting in front of the television saying, I want to do that when I grow up. And then the benefit of having a father who had gone through a selection process, I got a lot of good guidance from him, and the advice he gave me was, if you want to fly, you want to be an astronaut, consider going to the Naval Academy. Many of our first astronauts went to that institution. So I figured at least I could fulfill the dream of becoming an aviator, and perhaps by going to the Naval Academy, my impossible dream of becoming an astronaut would come true.
Even though Lawrence is a first-time space flyer, she is nevertheless an accomplished pilot with more than 1,500 hours of flight time in 6 types of helicopters and more than 800 shipboard landings. She was selected as the Naval Air Force's Atlantic Fleet Female Aviator of the Year in 1989 and was one of the first 2 female helicopter pilots to make a long deployment to the Indian Ocean as part of a carrier battle group. She holds a bachelor's and master's degree in ocean engineering. She was a physics instructor and novice women's crew coach at the Naval Academy before being selected by NASA as an astronaut candidate in 1992. Lawrence is a member of the Blue Team for mission STS-67. All is very quiet here in the firing room. Everything continuing to look good for our launch at 1:37 a.m. with the weather still being a consideration here at Kennedy Space Center. We're looking at having low clouds in the area, and there will be bands of clouds moving through the KSC Central Florida area, and we're optimistic and hopeful that we will have a clearing in the 2.5 hours for our launch window today. T-minus 1 hour, 46 minutes and counting. This is shuttle launch control.
OTC, MS3, how do you read?
MS3, OTC, got you loud and clear. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, George. Loud and clear also. NTD, MS3, how do you read?
MS3, this is NTD. Tammy, I got you loud and clear. Help me.
Loud and clear also, Bill. Good morning. Or good evening.
Good morning and good evening.
Houston and Denver, MS3, how do you read?
MS3, Tammy, we have you loud and clear here in Houston.
We have you loud and clear also, sir.
We copy and welcome aboard.
Safe flight, Kurt.
OTC CFCP 212. Go ahead. Yeah, we had a little change in plan while we were talking with Horace on 245 or 161, and we just like to let you know what we're going to do. Our 1 hour and 45 minute purge, we're going to go ahead and go on internal reactants before we get into that purge. So we'll be doing the purge while we're on internal reactants. Once we finish with the purge, we're going to continue to monitor the fuel cells until our O2 tanks get down to around 900, and then we'll come back off internals and put the fuel cells back on external reactants.
Copy.
Okay, I just want to let you and the test team, you and NTD know that.
Okay. Yeah, SPE told NTD.
Copy that. FCP back to 153.
Copy. FCP OTC.
It's FCP.
Yeah, I need you on 161.
Copy that.
OTC, MS1. Good morning, George.
MS1 OTC. I got you loud and clear. Good morning, John.
Good morning. MTC, MS1. Com check.
MS1, this is NTD. John, I got you loud and clear. Hey, read me this morning.
Loud and clear. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
Houston, Endeavor, MS1. Com check.
Endeavor Houston, John, we have you loud and clear. How us?
Good morning, loud and clear.
Roger that, and welcome aboard.
Thanks.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 1 hour, 35 minutes and counting down to the launch of STS-67 and the Shuttle Endeavor with a crew of 7. A few moments ago, we heard some communication from the launch controllers here in the firing room to the flight crew and also to the test team here, talking about the fuel cells number 2 and 3. About an hour or so ago, engineers here noticed some voltage degradation, which we did begin a purge to flush the system. They suspect there could be some helium in the fuel cell areas, and there really has to be a pure oxygen and hydrogen in the fuel cells, or else they do experience some degradation. However, the purge did seem to help, and one more check we want to do is to go on internal reactants to get power for the fuel cells. That would be going off the ground power, going to internals to just check the system. Launch controllers here still looking at weather conditions here in the Florida area, looking at possibility of having low clouds in the KSC area. At the time we would want to go ahead and launch. Going to try and continue looking at weather data from the balloons, and also getting information from Bob Cabana, flying in weather reconnaissance aircraft in the immediate KSC area. T-minus 1 hour, 33 minutes and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
Complete.
OTC, CFCP.
Go ahead. Yes, OTC, go ahead.
Yeah, this is CFCP, and I'd like to go ahead and give you completion on step 602.
Thank you.
Fuel cell purge complete.
Copy.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 1 hour, 26 minutes and counting. In addition to the Astro 2 payload, several secondary payloads will be performed on this flight. The mid-deck active control experiment called MACE is one of the experiments that we performed in the mid-deck. This will include more than 200 experiments with MACE over a total of some 44 hours of testing spread over 6 flight days. And the technology and tools developed in the MACE program can be applied to such systems as Earth observing satellites and the International Space Station. And the objective of this experiment is to measure and control the vibration of a small multi-body platform free-floating in
OTC,
microgravity.
PS1, contact.
PS1, OTC, got you loud and clear. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, George. You're loud and clear also. NTD, PS1, contact.
PS1, this is NTD. Sam, I got you loud and clear. How you reading me?
Bill, you're loud and clear also.
Okay, copy. Good morning.
Good morning. Houston, PS1, contact.
PS1, Sam, we have you loud and clear. How us?
You're loud and clear also. Good morning.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Sam. You ready to go do it again?
Absolutely.
In addition to the MACE experiment, there are 2 protein crystal growth investigations and the CMIX experiment to collect data on scientific methods and the commercial protein of biomedical and fluid science applications. Also, a small companion payload to Astro 2 will be an Australian experiment which will use a binocular telescope to make ultraviolet observations on at least 2 days during the mission. This particular experiment is contained in 2 Getaway Special or gas cans in the payload bay. Also, 6 of the crew members are licensed ham radio operators, including Steve Oswald.
OTC,
The crew will
MS2
participate
contact.
in shuttle amateur radio experiments known as
MS2,
SAREX.
OTC, got you loud and clear. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, George. Have you the same?
26 contacts with schools are planned with the SAREX experiment. Ron Parise has been a licensed since age 11 and also operated SAREX on the first Astro mission.
NTD, MS2, contact.
MS2, this is NTD. I've got a good call, Wendy. How you read me?
I have you loud and clear, Bill. Good morning.
Good morning. Looks like a good day for you guys.
Houston, MS2, check.
MS2, Wendy, we have you loud and clear.
And I have you the same.
Last but definitely not least, welcome aboard.
Thanks. I'm glad for the ride.
OTC, CGLS.
Go ahead.
GLS initialization is complete. Step 710.
Copy.
OTC, CCSE, 212.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Talking to Mila on 155, they've found a piece of equipment they need to swap out. They've been taking some uplink TEP errors on the uplink command line. They'll need to interrupt the uplink data stream for 2 to 3 seconds to do that. Just want to make sure, want to make you aware of that. It will probably kick off our NSP frame sync monitor when we do that, but it won't be an LCC violation.
Okay, copy. Let's take it over to NTD so they're aware of it also.
Copy. I'll stand by on the NTD channel.
OTC is the they're ready for the Astro comm checks and air ground checks.
Copy. All systems, all conversations on OAS channel 212 during Astro comm checks will be heard by the crew. Channel should remain silent except for emergency calls. 607. CDR OTC.
Go ahead, George.
Yes, Steve, you verify each member of the crew is ready to proceed with Astro comm checks?
We're all ready. Go ahead.
Copy. Endeavor OTC. During Astro comm checks, adjust appropriate volume control, air to ground 1, 2, ICOM A and B, and air to air for comfort. Do not change audio panel switch configuration. Endeavor copies. Endeavor OTC, comm check on air to ground 1. How do you copy?
Endeavor has you loud and clear. CDR. PLT. MS1. MS2. MS3. TS1. TS2.
Good comm check. We'll be switching over to air to ground 2.
Endeavor has you loud and clear. CDR. PLT. MS1. MS2. MS3. TS1. TS2. And Endeavor has you loud and clear on air-to-air. CDR. PLT. MS1. MS2. MS3. TS1. TS2. Roger that.
And OTC's back on air to ground 1.
You're loud and clear, George.
CFCP OTC. CFCP OTC 212. CFCP OTC 212. Go ahead. Yeah, go to 232, please, with NTD. Copy. I'm sorry, channel 161 with SV. Copy. ECL OTC. CCO go. Yeah, I need to go to channel 111, please. Copy. OTC, OVCC. Yes, sir. A few minutes, we'll be looking to currents to close the hatch.
Okay. Ask OTC.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Crew module inspection, is that complete? Non-flight items removed?
We're in process right now.
Okay.
Be done in a minute.
I'm also going to need you to egress the crew module and verify ready for hatch closure.
T-minus 1 hour, 14 minutes and counting. For the first time during a shuttle mission, the crew, scientists, and mission controllers will share their excitement and exploration with the public through the World Wide Web and the computer network internet. A virtual reality tour of the orbiter and a list of the targets Astro is observing will be available daily. Internet users can even ask questions electronically.
Yeah, when the ass is out, they're ready to close the hatch. If we're doing comm checks, you got to go ahead and close that, step 697. Copy.
We have had 10 previous night launches, and this one today will be the 11th night launch in the history of the Space Shuttle program. Our window opens at 1:37 today and extends for 2.5 hours. And it looks at this point that the front end of the window may look a little bit better as far as the cloud cover goes than the back end of the window.
Okay, OTC, this is the ask.
There is a clearing in the area, in the Central Florida area.
From the crew module, and I'm ready to terminate the comm between the ask and the LCC.
Copy. Thank you for the job. Well done.
Thanks. Let's get these guys out of town.
Complete.
Endeavor Houston, this will be your air-to-ground voice check. CDR and PLT configure for air-to-ground comm checks.
Endeavor will go.
Flight crew's in the middle of making voice checks with launch controllers here at KSC, and finish those up. We'll now go to make voice checks with flight controllers in Houston.
Houston Endeavor on air-to-ground 1. How do you copy? CDR. PLT.
Endeavor Houston has you loud and clear on air-to-ground 1. How me?
Hey, you're loud and clear. CDR. PLT.
Endeavor Houston reads you both loud and clear. Configure for air-to-ground 2 comm check.
Howard.
Closeout crew now preparing the orbiter Endeavor for closing of the hatch.
Houston Endeavor is ready for the silent voice check.
Endeavor Houston, for the entire crew, how do you read?
Endeavor has you loud and clear, Houston. CDR. PLT. MS1. MS2. MS3.
Endeavor Houston, we read you all loud and clear, and this completes the air-to-ground voice checks.
And that was Capcom Kurt Brown from Houston in Mission Control conversing with the crew aboard the Orbiter Endeavor out at pad 39A, assuring the voice checks were complete. The Ascent Flight Director at JSC is Rich Jackson. Houston assumes control of the flight as soon as the solid rocket boosters have ignited. All flight events are controlled from the Mission Control Operations Center in Houston.
Yeah, give me a status on your IMU gyro compass align. Okay, it's just completing now. Okay. Must have been intuition. And step 709 is not performed. Okay, copy that.
OTC CL212.
Go ACL. Go ahead, ACL.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. We'd like to get a CDR on 143.
Okay. ECL, what for?
I'm sorry, I needed a CMQC.
That's better. CMQC, OTC. I copy 143. OTC to the FCP 212. Go ahead. Yeah, just to give you an update on where we're at on IPR 125 and where we're headed. Are you ready? Oh boy, am I ready. Do we want to do this on 212 or 232? Let's go to 232. FCP copies.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 1 hour, 5 minutes and counting. Just got a report on the condition of the fuel cells, and they appear to be healthy and normal at this time. We did a purge of the fuel cells, and engineers believe there was helium trapped in the supply lines for the extended duration orbiter pallet, and they could have been there since we did load the propellants during our countdown. We will be putting in place some sort of procedural enhancement to prevent that from happening in the future. Again, the fuel cells need a pure environment of just liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen reactants for a successful operation. Earlier this evening we did see some degradation of the fuel cells, but that situation has subsided. We've performed a purge of the fuel cells, also transitioned from ground supplies to actually using internal supplies, and then now we're back on the ground supplies, and the performance of the fuel cells is now back as it was before we saw any degradation, and did not see any further degradation during our testing. So with that, the fuel cells are ready for our launch today. All other activities in our countdown are going as the procedure planned for it, and no other issues being discussed here outside of the weather conditions in Florida. T-minus 1 hour, 3 minutes and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
TC, OVCC. Yes, sir. Okay, we're hooking up the probe now. You can get ECL on. Okay, copy. OTC, OVCC. Yes, sir. You have the probe completed this time. Copy. OVCC, OTC, is the hatch closed and latched for flight? Yes, sir, it is. Okay, step 702. CMQC, OTC. CMQC. Step 703, can you verify? ECL, OTC. CCL, go. Step 702, hatch is closed and latched for flight. Copy. ECL, OTC. CCL, go. You ready for cabin leak check? That's fine. CDR, OTC.
Go ahead, George.
Steve, stand by to perform cabin leak check. channel L2A1.
Go.
Cabin vent isolation switch open until vent isolation talkback open, vent talkback closed.
Complete.
ACL.
ACL.
706.
I can verify 706.
And 707, perform crew module pressure and initial cabin leak check.
Copy, I'll be on channel 143.
Copy. CCSE OTC.
Go ahead, sir.
You ready for 725?
That's firm. Standing by on 232 to do that.
Copy.
OTC, CQC.
Go ahead.
Line item 210 closed.
I didn't catch you, line.
Line item 210 closed.
210 closed.
OTC, COOS.
Yes.
I'd like to request forward purge circuit. You increase 2 degrees
Copy.
to 94 degrees.
DVD.
CVD copies to 94.
CGLS OTC.
CGLS on 212.
Step 778, pick up by the clock.
Okay, sir. OTC ECL.
Yes.
I need to touch CDR.
Go ahead.
CDR on panel 01A1.
Go ahead.
Can I get a cabin pressure reading?
Better at 15 PSI.
I copy 15 PSI. Thank you.
DPS OTC.
We've got a view of the shuttle training aircraft piloted by Robert Cabana at the shuttle landing facility here in Florida, preparing to take off to perform weather reconnaissance activities.
Copy 794 by the clock.
Just looking at very cloudy conditions over the central Florida area.
OTC ECL.
Cabana will be flying around in the area, remaining aloft
Well,
for a good portion of the morning and relaying information back to launch controllers here in the Launch Control Center and also flight controls in Houston. The left-hand side of the STA cockpit is configured like that of the commander's seat in the space shuttle. It also simulates the handling characteristics similar to the shuttle. Still looking hopeful for an on-time liftoff. Just about an hour and 10 minutes away from now at 1:37 a.m. Counting down to our next built-in hold at the T-minus 20-minute mark. That's the planned hold for 10 minutes. At T-minus 53 minutes and counting, this is shuttle launch control.
RTC PVD 212.
Go ahead.
Do you have the closeout crew swing the O2 meter back around so they can sit in the camera?
Copy. CCME OTC.
CCME go.
Step 738.
Copy, going to 128. OTC, CCME back from 128.
Copy.
OTC, CGLS 212.
Go ahead.
GLS mainline activation is complete. That'll be steps 778 through 784 with a not perform on 781.
Copy.
OTC DPS.
Go ahead.
Step 799 complete.
Copy.
OTC ECL.
Go ahead.
Yes, we're ready to remove the probe from the side hatch and reinstall the cap. And CDR may get a klaxon and a master alarm due to high cabin pressure decay rate.
Okay, give me 785.
Negative.
Okay. And CDR, you copy?
CDR, Sure do, George. Thanks.
Complete.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 36 minutes and counting. We're coming up on our built-in hold at the T-minus 20-minute mark. Weather conditions are continuing to be observed here at Kennedy Space Center. We've got a first band of the cold front coming through. It will be at the Daytona area shortly. It's moving southeast at about 15 miles per hour. We're hopeful that the weather would be better at the front end of the window today, more so than it would be at the back end of the window, when we would have more clouds moving through the Central Florida area. Again, we do have a 2.5-hour launch window today, which opens at 1:37 a.m., extends until 4:07 a.m. Eastern Time. All activities concerning the launch countdown are on schedule. Flight crew is preparing the shuttle for launch today. We will be going to the Johnson Space Center in Houston and also the Payload Operations Control Center at the Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama for updates at the T-minus 20-minute hold point.
Put that in work when we get to that point. Copy.
At T-minus 35 minutes and counting, this is shuttle launch control.
Endeavour Houston, this is air-to-ground voice check for a SIMO voice check launch configuration. How do you read?
Houston Endeavour, as you loud and clear, CDR. PLT, MS1, MS2, MS3, PS1, PS2.
Endeavour Houston, we read you all loud and clear. And Oz, we have a new KSC altimeter of 29905. And we have the updates for your no-com mode boundaries on your Ascent flipbook, page 2-4, when you're ready to copy.
Okay, Houston, we're ready to copy. Go ahead.
Okay, Endeavour, we have two changes. First change, Presta Mico 104 is now 12,200. That's 12200, 12,200. The second change is single engine press 109. New number is 15,900. That's 15900. How copy?
Okay, copy. Press to Mico 104 is 12.2, and single engine press 109 is 15.9.
That's a good copy, Endeavour. And update to your aim point for RTLS runway 33. Update is close. We're using close aim point now on runway 33. And update for your PLS site. Edwards weather is now go. Edwards will be your PLS site.
Okay, well, sounds like things are getting better. Edwards is the PLS site, and we'll select close when we get over in Topswing.
Endeavour, good copy. And the last update on page 8-5 of your Ascent book, the trajectory changes. I have that when you're ready to copy for the max rates.
Okay, Houston, go ahead with the max rates.
Endeavour, max rates first stage. Roll 2 degrees per second at 50 seconds. Pitch 1 degree per second at 70 seconds. And yaw is 1 degree per second. Second stage is NA. And in your notes, you can expect some roll oscillations up to 2 degrees per second from MET of 50 to 80 seconds, from 50 to 80 seconds.
Okay, we copy. Roll will be 2 degrees per second at 50 seconds. Pitch 1 degree per second at 70 seconds. Yaw is 1 degree per second. Second stage is NA. And we'll be looking for a max of 2 degrees per second between 50 and 80 seconds.
Endeavour Houston, that's a good copy on all. That updates your weather and your trajectory update, and that's all I have at this point.
Okay, sounds good. Then we'll be waiting on your words about the weather at the Cape.
We copy.
CDR OTC.
Go ahead, George.
Perform pass BFS transfer. Prep.
That's in work.
816.
OTC ECL.
Go ahead.
I can give you step 785.
Okay. OTC opening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can put step 845, Mac pre-flight bite mark.
Yes, go ahead.
APT copy.
PLT OTC. PLT OTC.
OTC, PLT, go.
Perform water spray boiler GN2 supply activation.
OTC, PLT in work.
Copy. 831. COC LPS. Step 835.
CFC copies.
LPS copies. OTC, OVCC.
Yes, sir.
Ready to evacuate the white room.
Okay. You verify all Dragon lines are clear to the OAA?
I can verify that.
Copy. You got to go. Step 880 and 881.
Okay, George.
Good job. Thank you.
OTC CDR, pass BFS transfer prep is complete.
Copy. CDR OTC, perform OHM GN2 press.
That's complete.
Copy.
And OTC PLT, water sport boiler activation is complete.
Copy.
OTC ECL.
Yes.
Done. Step 785, you have that. You can go ahead and proceed to cabin event redundancy.
Yeah, we're just trying to catch up these steps we need to do.
Copy.
CDR standing by.
Copy. Okay, CDR OTC, perform cabin event redundant configuration.
That's in work, George.
787.
OTC CDR, cabin vent redundancy config is complete.
Copy. 789. ECL OTC.
Go.
You ready to give me 802?
We'll get back to you on that one. OTC DPS.
Go ahead.
We'd like to find out if you are call complete for step 818.
Yes, he verified he was complete down through 820.
Okay, copy. We'll find out if CDR took CPC mode 5 switch to run.
CDR?
Should have got a talkback run.
That's affirmative. I've got the CPC mode 5 is in standby, talkback run.
Copy. OTC CGLS.
Go ahead.
GLS limit change and dual notification for BRS TRS is complete.
849. Thank you. COC OTC.
This is CSC.
Yeah, step 8040. You ready to give it to me?
Yeah, what was that step number?
840. Yeah, it's still in work. Copy. 852 is complete.
OTC opening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mac pre-flight bite's complete at this time. Complete to step 848.
Copy.
Countdown clock will hold in approximately 4 minutes.
882 complete. PVD, OTC.
PVD 212.
Yes, 886.
886 alert. OTC, PVD 212.
Yes.
888 complete.
Copy.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 22 minutes and counting.
All
Just
over
a couple minutes away now
verify
from going into
program
our planned
software
built-in
report
hold
only.
at the T-minus 20-minute mark.
901.
This hold will last for 10 minutes.
OTC 06.
Go ahead.
I can give you 840.
Thank you.
OTC CGLS.
Go ahead.
DFS 1 stop
During the
transfer
hold,
is
the
complete.
NASA test director, who is Bill Dowdell, will brief the launch team on recycle options during the remainder of the countdown. This is a standard activity in our hold mark.
OTC ECL.
Go ahead.
I can give you step 802 now.
In the last 20 minutes, the orbiter S-band communication system has been placed on high
Okay,
power mode.
negative 0.001.
That system is used to transmit or receive information from the ground.
Copy.
Also, the ground launch sequencer mainline computer program has been activated and is now processing data. This program monitors various key commands and systems prior to assuming control of the countdown at the T-minus 9-minute and counting mark.
Okay, copy that.
CDR, OTC.
Go ahead, OTC.
Yes.
Also, post-launch inspection and safing teams are being assembled at the roadblock at the A11 roadblock between the Launch Control Center and the launch pad.
Open cabin vent, isolation valve.
Okay, that's going to work.
Now at T-minus 20 minutes and holding. Immediately after liftoff, control of the orbiter and flight switches from the Kennedy Space Center to mission control at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Flight controllers are standing by now, ready to assume control of the vehicle. We will now go to mission control to get a brief update on their activities.
This is Mission Control Houston at T-minus 20 minutes and holding. The ascent team here at the Johnson Space Center has been on console since about 7:30 this evening and is led by Flight Director Rich Jackson, who is overseeing his 5th shuttle launch. Handling communications duties with the crew aboard Endeavour is 2-time shuttle astronaut Kurt Brown, who has just completed voice checks with the crew. The flight control team continues to closely monitor all of the orbiter systems and should shortly notify the flight director they're ready to support the 8th launch of Endeavour this morning.
CDR, OTC, is the cabin vent open?
A review of weather conditions at the contingency runways at the launch site in Florida, as well as in Morocco and in Spain, shows that conditions are favorable to support a landing if one becomes necessary during Endeavour's launch phase.
Okay.
The current primary transatlantic abort landing site is Ben Guerir in Morocco, with Morón in Spain available if necessary. Once Endeavour lifts off, the vehicle will roll to a heads-down position, which will put it on the proper course to achieve the desired orbit 218 miles above the Earth. About 30 seconds into the flight, the 3 engines will be throttled back to lessen the effects of the dense lower atmosphere on the orbiter. Less than a minute later, Endeavour will accelerate rapidly, reaching a speed of about 4,000 miles per hour at the point when the twin solid rocket boosters burn out and separate at about 2 minutes. Once in orbit, Endeavour's engines will be shut down at the 8.5-minute point, which will be followed just a few seconds later by the separation of the external fuel tank. About 40 minutes into the mission, the twin orbital maneuvering system engines on the tail of Endeavour will ignite to circularize the spacecraft's altitude for the on-orbit phase of the mission. Again, all continues to go smoothly here in mission control, with flight controllers standing by to take over control of Endeavour and the STS-67 mission at liftoff. We'll now switch to NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama for a pre-launch report.
Here in Huntsville, the team staffing the Space Lab Mission Operations Control Center are standing by to support a launch this morning. We have a large contingent of scientists and engineers on duty, and ready to swing into action once Endeavour reaches orbit. The Astro 2 Payload Operations Director has polled the science teams and payload controllers here and verified that all of their systems look good for supporting Spacelab science operations. So the word from Huntsville was that everything is go from here. Now, the actual astronomical research during the STS-67 mission will begin some 24 hours after launch. However, the teams here will be heavily involved in the extensive preliminary activities that are required, such as bringing the Astro 2 instruments online and verifying their calibration and focus are still good when Endeavour reaches orbit. Those procedures will begin just a bit more than 3 hours after the shuttle's launch. So that's the status here in Huntsville, and we're now going to return to Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
Back at Kennedy Space Center, things are going well in our launch countdown. Launch team members here in Flying Room 3 preparing for the final 20 minutes of our count. We do have one final hold at the T-minus 9-minute mark. That hold is planned for 10 minutes. However, if we do need to extend our hold, if we are unable to meet the launch time at the opening of the window at 1:37 a.m., we would be able to extend our hold at the T-minus 9-minute mark.
FCO on 212 for a comm check.
Got about 5.5 minutes remaining in this hold at the T-minus 20-minute mark.
FCO NTD on air to ground 1.
This is Shuttle Launch Control.
Go ahead, NTD. FCO, this is NTD for a comm check. How do you read? Loud and clear. I have you loud and clear also. Please stay up on 212 for remainder of count. CHGD, CGSS, and JBSX. Verify active on 212, monitor 232 for remainder of count. HGD. HGD copies. CGSS. CGSS copies. And JBSX. JBSX copies. Thank you. NTD and PAC console search 112. Go ahead. PAC. Okay, I can give you step 1017 and 1018. I copy. PAC copies. This is the NTD on 232 and 212 conducting the briefing. The launch window opens at 0637 GMT and closes at 0907 GMT. The second launch attempt is possible if a recycle occurs. We have 2 COLAs for today's effort. If a hold is requested and issued between T-minus 9 and T-minus 31, the countdown clock will be restarted upon successful resolution of the problem without a go survey made of all elements. If launch cannot be accomplished within the window, or if we exceed the lock's dream back time of 5 minutes 36 seconds, NTD will call cutoff. PLT, T-minus 5 minutes perform APU start upon command of OTC only. PLT will call. And CDR, the pad egress system is nominal, and the evacuation helipad is helipad 8. CDR copies. Fire room launch team, please disable your telephone ringers this time. Ingress and egress of the fire room will not be allowed after resuming the count at 20 until after launch or a flight crew. All personnel non-active internal count monitor OIS 217. All personnel, please bear in mind that critical post-launch ops will be in progress after a successful launch, so keep fire room activities and noise to a minimum. After T-minus 20 minutes, all problems or trends that require a countdown clock hold will be reported to the NTD on 212 together with a recommendation. After T-minus 5 minutes, any hold, either manual or GLS, should be accompanied by a description of the problem and a recommendation. Count clock will continue to T-minus 31 seconds unless the recommendation to hold at the next milestone is necessary. Are there any questions? That concludes the briefing. CCL-OTC? The CCL go. 860. Are you ready for our 862 yet? Yeah, I can give you 862. Copy. CDR OTC. Go ahead, OTC. Panel 01A1, report cabin pressure. Check about 15.3. Copy. ECL. I copy on 864 and give you 14.77. CDR OTC, CRT3, establish BSF SM summary. 1, display.
What's up? And we're reading 14.7, cycling to 8 on system 1.
And I copy CDR. Report cabin pressure.
14.8 on the system.
CRT3, establish GNC BFS memory display.
Okay.
OTC, CTLS.
Go ahead.
Step 922 will be a non-perform.
Copy. CDR OTC, closed cabin vent valves.
In order.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. We're less than a minute now from coming out of our hold at the T-minus 20-minute mark.
And OTC,
We'll count down to the T-minus 9-minute mark.
I copy. Thank you.
Countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 20 minutes?
T-minus 20 minutes and counting.
DPS, what do you say?
DPS, go.
976, you ready?
DPS. Stand by.
The data processing system engineer has confirmed the onboard computers are in the process of making the transition to the terminal countdown configuration.
Flight NTD on air ground 1.
Houston flight on 212.
Yes, sir. ICOM weather briefing. I presume that'll be non-performed.
Yes, sir.
OTC, DPS.
Go ahead.
Okay, the pass off transition is now complete. DPS ready for BFS transition. Op 101.
Copy. CDR OTC. Clear pass false sum, Spec 99 Pro, and take BFS to Ops 1 for your checklist.
CDR, that's in work.
SPE entity 212.
Go ahead, entities, SPE.
Yeah, I think we still have maybe one paper item to clear up on our list. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is IPR 125, and it'll be an on deferral.
Copy.
OTC, CFCP 212.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ken Ball has that IPR 125 and is routing that around, I guess, for signatures.
Copy. TLT, OTC, configure pass and BFS horizontal situation displays for your checklist. CDR, OTC, configure contingency abort yaw steer for your checklist.
CDR and TLT, we'll put that in work.
And NTDC VFS. VFS is ready for uplink.
I copy VFS. Flight NTD. Houston flight NTD on air ground 1. Houston flight NTD air to ground 1.
The shuttle's backup flight system is being configured to the proper mode. Also, the Ascent software program stored in the memory of one of the 4 redundant general-purpose computers has started. And Pilot Gregory is in the process of configuring cockpit displays for launch.
It's in work at this time.
Still in work, okay. Houston flight NTD 212.
Houston flight.
We're ready at this time to perform BFS pre-flight uplink load.
Copy. We'll put that in work now.
CWS, what they say?
WS.
Step 1004, pick up by the clock.
Copy, be in work.
NASA test directors asked Houston Flight to send their pre-flight uplink commands to the orbiter's backup flight system. These loads are sent from Houston via the Mila tracking station and put the 5th general-purpose computer in the proper configuration for launch.
EPD, FCP, and ECL adjust fuel cell loads between 250 and 290 amps. 1023. APT copy. FCC copy. ECL copy.
STM NTD, step 1019. Copy. SRO NTD 212.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Step 1020. KSC area is clear for launch.
Copy.
ATG PLT, horizontal SIC configures complete.
Copy. Perform MPS helium reconfig.
PLT in work. And APC CDR, the config for contingency word yes channel is complete.
Copy.
OTC PLT MPS helium reconfig complete.
Copy. Who else called?
This is OOS, step 1009 is verified complete.
Copy.
NTD, CMPS.
Good.
We have PLT check on panel R2, MPS pneumatic switch.
PLT NTD.
NTD PLT, pneumatic helium isolation switch is open.
MPS copies, thank you.
MPS, do you have a problem?
Negative.
Copy. STM NTD.
STM.
Deactivate Panda IS, step 1021.
Copy that.
Pilot Gregory is in the process of performing the main propulsion system, helium system reconfiguration. This will support the helium isolation valves necessary for in-flight purges of the main engines and provide an emergency source of pressure for pneumatic shutdown of those engines. All non-essential personnel are being cleared from the launch danger area. Also, the fuel cell purge and adjust was reported complete.
SPE entity.
Go ahead, entity.
Give us a heads up when that last paper item clears, would you please?
Yes, sir, I will.
NTD Houston Flight on 212.
Go ahead, Flight.
Yes, sir. I'd like to meet the launch director on 231 for a brief tag up here.
Okay, I copy. Launch director.
All systems discontinue all non-mandatory LB traffic for remainder of count. 1040.
The countdown clock will hold a T-9 in 2.5 minutes. NTD LPS. LPS. 1028 complete, 1029 now perform. Copy.
OTC CVFS.
Go ahead.
T20 Delta compares complete, 0 miss compares, step 1032.
Copy.
NTD STM.
Go STM.
1039 complete.
Copy.
Just 1 minute away now from going into our planned built-in hold at the T-minus 9 minute mark. Flight director just spoke with Launch Director Jim Harrington about weather conditions. We do need to have some assurance that weather conditions here in Florida will be go at a landing time should the shuttle have to return to the landing site.
Houston Flight NTD.
Current conditions indicate that our operations both here in Florida for launch and also for the TAL landing sites, we are forecast go and observe go for weather conditions.
Update.
That's
Going to hold at 9, correct?
Not required.
Copy.
We may have to wait just a few minutes before we would have a clearance for a launch here in Florida. Right now, the countdown is proceeding on toward a 1:37 a.m. launch time. It's possible we could extend the hold at the T-minus 9 minute mark,
T-minus 9 minutes.
or it's possible we could
It appears we have a trend against one of our
count down
parameters.
to T-minus 5 and hold at that point. During this hold, the launch controllers will be polled, flight controllers will be polled, everyone will give their final go for launch. Again, this is a 10-minute planned built-in hold.
And we don't violate the LCC at this point.
What we'd like to do is turn on the redundant string and verify it's operational. I copy. SPE?
SPE, I copy.
And your go form to turn on redundant string?
Yes, sir.
Copy that. ECL, let's turn on that redundant string of heaters, please. Copy. CDR ECL.
Go ahead.
On panel L2.
Go ahead.
Flash evaporator feed line heater, D supply switch from the number 2 position to off to number 1.
And that is complete.
Okay, copy. And ECL NTD, how long will that take for you to see that heater come up? We're going to be monitoring for the next couple of minutes. We should know by then. Okay, I copy. Houston Flight NTD.
PVD OTC.
PVD 212.
Yeah, 1063.
Copy.
HTD OTC.
HTD.
You ready to give me 1078?
That can work. OTC, PVD 212.
Go ahead.
1063 complete.
Copy.
ISL, JRPS, and Houston Flight NTD on 212. ISL?
JRPS.
Yeah, ISL, JRPS, let's activate recorders, please. Step 1064. ISL copies.
JRPS copies.
And Houston Flight NTD 212.
Okay, Houston Flight on 212.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and activate recorders, please. Step 1064.
Copy, we'll put that in work at this time.
Thank you. PTC NTD.
This PTC?
Let's go ahead and deactivate the HUT ion pump, back ion pump at this time. Step 1065 alpha.
Copy.
Houston Flight NTD, air to ground 1.
Weather conditions are looking favorable here at the Kennedy Space Center area, both for launch and for RTLS conditions.
This is the NTD on 212, conducting the launch status check. Verify.
We've got about 5.5 minutes remaining in our built-in hold at the T-minus 9-minute mark.
No go at this time.
Still looking at a few more of the cloud bands passing through the area.
Copy. TBC. Tank and boosters are a go. PTC.
PTC's go.
LPS. LPS go. Houston Flight.
Houston Flight's go.
Mila.
Mila's go.
STM. STM's go. Safety console. Safety is go for launch. FPE.
SPE, we're not go yet until we resolve the fest heater problem.
I copy. CDR.
Endeavor is go.
Copy. LRD.
LRD is go.
And SRO.
SRO's go. You have a range clear to launch.
I copy. Launch Director NTD 212.
Launch Director, go ahead.
Yes, sir. With the exception of our fest heater problem and clearing up our one last paper item, your launch team is ready to proceed, and we're expecting to receive some word on that momentarily.
Okay, we'll stand by here for a minute. See how we got an estimate on the test heater.
ECL entity. ECL. How are we looking on that other heater? Oh, we're still waiting for a response, and as of yet, nothing. We're discussing it now. I copy. SPE entity.
Go ahead, entity is SPE.
Have we cleared our paper item off the constraints list, IPR 125?
It's in QC right now for deferral.
Are all the signatures on the paper?
Yes, sir, and I can give you a concurrence from the engineering community that we on that deferral for that item.
Okay, I copy. OTCC, CD.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Step 1078 complete.
Got it.
OTCC, CD.
Go ahead.
Line item 208 is cleared.
Copy. NTD, I'm going to go ahead and conduct my poll now based on the fact that it sounds like the heater is toggling, and then I'll get back to you.
Copy that.
Payload director, launch director.
Yeah, payloads are go.
I copy. Engineering Director, Launch Director.
Jim, we're go.
Copy. SR and QA Director, Launch Director.
SR and QA is go.
I copy. Range Weather, Launch Director.
Roger, we have no constraints violated.
I copy, and MMT Manager, Launch Director.
Go ahead, Jim.
Clearance to proceed.
Okay, I need to clear with a couple people yet, and I'll get back with you.
I copy.
NTDC ISL. Go ISL. Flight recorders are activated, no anomalies observed. Copy that, thank you.
NTD ECL.
Go ECL.
It looks like we got a response on this other heater string we turned on a few minutes ago. So we are go for launch.
I copy. ST, you concur?
Yes, sir, I concur.
And you're a go for launch, correct?
We are go for launch.
And MTD OTC? Go for launch. Copy that.
NTD GLS 212.
Stand by, GLS. GLS cancel pending resume.
That has been completed, sir.
And attention on the net, we're going to remain here in the hold at 9 for just a bit yet. We anticipate picking up the clock here momentarily. And Launch Director NTD 212.
Go ahead.
Yeah, per the test team, our problem with our FES heater has cleared. That other heater that they turned on has shown a bit toggle, and engineering is now go with that problem.
I copy.
This is T-minus 9 minutes and holding. We're continuing to hold at the T-minus 9 minute mark. We get an indication that the flash evaporator system B supply heater temperature was approaching the lower limit of our launch commit criteria, and we're just checking that heater, making sure everything's ready to go for flight. It'll just take a few more minutes. We expect to have that problem cleared momentarily.
Lauren, while we're waiting, I think what I'm going to do is go on down to 5, and we'll hold there and hopefully get this cleared up at that time frame.
Okay, we can go ahead and do that.
Entity Launch Director.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and pick up the count and proceed down to 5 minutes, and we'll hold at that time pending clearance for this problem.
Okay, I copy that. GLS entity, pick up the clock, and let's plan to hold at 5.
GLS copies. Countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
GLS auto sequence has been initiated.
We will count down to the T-minus 5 minute mark, and if we have to hold at that point without starting the orbiter's auxiliary power units. We have brought up the backup heaters for the flash evaporator supply and waiting for those heaters to come up. Again, launch controllers expect this to be a go condition. We're just waiting for the situation to the heaters to come up.
PLT, OTC. Configure fuel cell essential bus source switches. OTC, PLT. Connect essential bus sources to fuel cell. OTC, PLT, complete. Copy.
GLS is go for OAA retract.
The orbiter access crew arm is being retracted away from the vehicle and into the launch configuration. This arm can be extended in just a few seconds if necessary.
Okay, 5.4 times 10 to the minus 6. Okay, SCS out.
JRPS, OTC. Start APU and hydraulic strip chart recorders.
JRPS, recorder started.
T-minus 6 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
PLT, OTC. Perform APU pre-start. OTC, PLT. APU pre-start and work.
Pilot Gregory has been given a go to perform all auxiliary power unit pre-start. Activation will come at the T-minus 5 minute mark.
Launch Director, Ops Manager.
Launch Director, go ahead.
MMT has cleared all its constraints, and you're cleared to continue the count.
I copy. Thank you. NTD, proceed on pass 5.
Okay, I copy that. Go ahead, PLT.
RTC, PLT, APU pre-start complete, 3 gray talkbacks.
Copy.
GLS. Ron. GLS, go. I just wanted to report to you that
station on air to ground 1.
Planning on
Station on air to ground 1, you're on the wrong channel. GLS, plan on continuing the count. Do not hold at 5.
GLS copies. The clock is going to continue to count.
Countdown will continue on to a 1:37 a.m. liftoff of mission STS-67. Correction, that will probably be 1:38. We did hold for just about a minute at the T-minus 9-minute mark. Coming up on APU start.
GLS is go for orbiter APU start.
PLT, OTC, perform APU start.
OTC, PLT, APU start and work.
CDR, OTC, reconfigure heaters.
And arc. And OTC, CDI, heater reconfig is complete.
Copy.
T-minus 4 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Ground launch sequencer has terminated liquid oxygen replenish to the external tank and is initiating LOX drain back.
APU start complete, 3 high green.
Copy.
T-minus 4 minutes.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
Final purge of the main engines is now underway. Main engine valves are being opened to prepare for engine start. Profile test of the orbiter's aero surfaces has started. Orbiter flight control surfaces are being moved through a pre-programmed pattern to verify they are ready for launch. The 3 main engines are being gimbaled and positioned for launch. All systems are go for launch at this time, just a few minutes away from the 8th voyage of Endeavour with a crew of 7 on a 16-day flight to study the invisible universe. T-minus 3 minutes and counting.
GLS is go for ET LO2 pressurization.
The tank holding supercold liquid oxygen propellant used to power the main engine is being pressurized for flight.
OTC, clear caution and warning memory and verify no unexpected errors.
OTC, PLT and work, we have no unexpected errors.
Copy.
Flight crew now getting ready for their first flight day for the 16-day mission.
Endeavour OTC, close and lock your visors, initiate O2 flow, and good luck on your record-setting 16-day mission.
Okay, we'll close them and start the flow. And in fact, Mr. Talon and his boys flown in us a spaceship. And if Dr. Hawley doesn't have his bag on yet, would you have him put it on now?
GLS is go for ET LH2 pressurization.
T-minus 1 minute, 40 seconds and counting.
One minute, 30 seconds.
1 minute, 30 seconds. All systems aboard Endeavour are go. Endeavour will be launched on an easterly trajectory on an orbit inclined 28.45 degrees to the equator. T-minus 1 minute. At the T-minus 31 second mark, Endeavour's onboard computers will have control of all vehicle functions.
GLS is go for auto sequence start.
25.
T-minus 20 seconds. Thousands of gallons of water will be dumped onto the launch platform in the next few seconds. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, We have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour on a voyage to view the universe.
Houston now controlling.
Roll program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Roll maneuver underway aboard Endeavour. The vehicle's now in a heads-down position on course for a 28.5 degree orbit. Endeavour's engines have now throttled down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Endeavour's already 2 miles downrange from the launch site, traveling more than 1,000 miles per hour.
Endeavour Houston, go at throttle up.
Roger, go, Houston.
The 3 liquid-fueled engines are back at full throttle aboard Endeavour. At the 1 minute 30 second mark, Endeavour is traveling 1,700 miles per hour. The altitude is 82,000 feet downrange from the launch site, 12 nautical miles. Standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. And SRB separation is confirmed aboard Endeavour at the 2 minute 15 second mark. The vehicle is at an altitude of 178,000 feet, downrange from the launch site, 38 nautical miles. Endeavour is now traveling 4,500 feet per second, or 3,000 miles
Houston,
per hour.
Performance nominal.
Roger, performance is nominal.
Endeavour Houston, 2-engine Ben Guerrier.
2-engine Ben.
Performance thus far in the mission has been as expected. Endeavour can now reach Ben Guerir in Morocco in the event of a single engine failure. However, all 3 main engines are still performing at full throttle. The electrical systems are performing as expected, as are the hydraulic systems called APUs, or auxiliary power units, aboard the orbiter. Endeavour's now 75 nautical miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, traveling 5,600 feet per second, or 3,700 miles per hour. The vehicle's altitude is 283,000 feet. Approaching the 4 minute point in Endeavour's ascent this morning.
Endeavour Houston, negative return.
Roger that, Houston, negative return.
Endeavour can no longer return to the Kennedy Space Center in the event of an engine failure.
Endeavour Houston, press to ATO, select Banjul.
Press to ATO, select Banjul.
Traveling 6,100 miles per hour, Endeavour can reach orbit on 2 engines should one fail. Again, all 3 are continuing to perform at full throttle. All quiet here in Mission Control, as there are no systems issues aboard Endeavour whatsoever at this point. Just about to pass through 4 minutes 45 seconds into the flight. Endeavour is downrange 189 nautical miles from the launch site at an altitude of 357,000 feet.
Endeavour Houston, press to MECO.
Press to MECO.
Endeavour Houston, single engine Ops 3, Banjul.
Endeavour Roger, single engine Ops 3 to Banjul.
Endeavour can reach Banjul in the Gambia on 1 engine should 2 fail at this point. Endeavour can also reach a safe orbit on 2 engines. Approaching the 6 minute point in the launch.
Endeavour Houston, single engine Banjul, 104.
Single engine Banjul, 104.
Endeavour is now traveling 8,500 miles per hour at an altitude of 367,000 feet, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 335 nautical miles. Approaching 6.5 minutes now into the flight.
Endeavour Houston, single engine press 109.
Roger that. Single engine press 109.
Endeavour can now reach orbit on one engine should two fail. Again, all three are continuing to perform at full throttle. The hydraulic systems and electrical systems are in great shape aboard Endeavour. Approaching 7 minutes into the flight, the altitude is 359,000 feet. Downrange 454 nautical miles from the launch site, traveling 11,200 miles per hour. The engines aboard Endeavour are now throttling back to maintain the structural limits on the orbiter. Again, as it approaches loads near 3 times gravity. Just past 8 minutes into the flight, and we're standing by for main engine cutoff at about 8.5 minutes into the flight. Booster officer confirms main engine cutoff. Endeavour's traveling 16,700 miles per hour downrange from the launch site, 800 nautical miles.
Endeavour Houston.
Endeavour looks like a nominal MECO.
Endeavour Houston, we concur. No ohms 1 required.
Roger that. Ohms 1 is not required.
The external tank is separated from Endeavour now. Flight Director Rich Jackson is now polling all of the flight controllers here in the room to get a go or no-go to shut down the hydraulic systems aboard the orbiter. The hydraulic systems, called auxiliary power units, are no longer required for the remainder of the on-orbit phase of the mission until the last day of the flight. Those hydraulic systems are used to maneuver the orbiter once it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere during the entry phase. During Endeavour's ascent, there were no calls except for the standard calls all the way uphill. There were no issues that any flight controller was looking at throughout Endeavour's launch phase. Again, the orbiter is now safely in orbit. The next step will be the orbital maneuvering system burn number 2, or OMS 2 burn as it's called, which will circularize Endeavour's orbit at 190 nautical miles, which is about 218 statute miles.
Endeavour Houston, concerning ohms 2, we show your go for nominal targets and nominal TIG.
Roger that. Nominal targets and nominal TIG. Looks like the dump's completed. We go for the ET photo DTO.
Endeavour Houston, you have a go for the ET photo DTO.
A little bit understand we've got to go for the ET photo DTO.
That's affirmative.
Copy.
Spacecraft communicator Kurt Brown here in Mission Control, giving the crew a go for the photo DTO. That's simply a maneuver of the orbiter so that the crew can take photographs of the external tank as it falls away from the orbiter.
Endeavour Houston, you have a go for the APU hydraulic shutdown DTO 312.
Roger, Kurt. That's in work.
Endeavour is now being maneuvered to support the photo DTO of the external fuel tank.
Endeavour Houston, we show good targets on board and your go for load.
Roger that. Just did it, Kurt. And they look good.
Endeavour Houston, if you got a chance, we're wondering if you have the ET inside.
Yeah, we're just looking now. Kurt, hang on just a second.
Endeavour Houston, we estimate the range of about 1 mile, opening at 900 feet per minute.
Roger that, Houston. Thanks. And Houston, Endeavour, we've got the tank in sight.
Endeavour Houston, we copy. Endeavour Houston, Oz will take a debris report if you're able to see anything during the ascent, if you got a moment.
Stand by just a second. Hey, Houston Endeavour, obviously it's pretty dark going uphill, but looking at the windscreen now, there's just a couple of, what look like paper smudges, but nothing significant.
Okay, Endeavour, we copy nothing significant on the windows.
That's permanent.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're 30 minutes into the flight of Endeavour, the 8th mission of this orbiter, and the 68th in the shuttle program. Here in the flight control room, all is fairly quiet as the ascent team continues to watch over the crew's shoulders as the 7 astronauts aboard Endeavour begin to step through the post-insertion timeline, which is a series of steps to configure the orbiter for the on-orbit phase of the mission. During the launch replays just a few minutes ago, the crew shut down the auxiliary power units, which are the hydraulic system aboard the orbiter. Those hydraulic units will not be required until the day before landing, when one of them is powered up to check out the orbiter's aero surfaces, which are the movable surfaces on the wings and tail of the orbiter, which will be required for the entry phase on landing day. Those units were shut down with no issues, and the crew again is now pressing on into the post-insertion timeline. The current expected time for the post-launch news conference from the Kennedy Space Center is scheduled for about 1:45 this morning Central Time. That's 2:45 Eastern Time.
Houston Endeavour, the ET photo DTO is complete. We're on the way to the OMS 2 attitude.
Endeavour Houston, we copy. Great. And
at the 36-minute point in Endeavour's mission, we're about 4 minutes away from the orbital maneuvering system engine burn that will circularize Endeavour's orbit. The vehicle is currently in a 185 by 33 nautical mile orbit. This engine burn of the 2 orbital maneuvering system engines on the tail of the orbiter, which each produce about 6,000 pounds of thrust. The result of that burn will put the orbiter in a 190 nautical mile circular orbit. With the orbiter about 6 minutes away from moving out of range of our communications network, it will allow the flight control team to watch over the crew's shoulders throughout this orbital maneuvering system burn.
Endeavour Houston, we show you in a good config for the burn. We will be LOS at 4-3, and we'll pick you back up AOS TDRS West at 5-0.
Roger that. We'll see you at 5-0. Hey, Houston Endeavour, before we lose you, looks like a good burn with only 40 seconds to go. We'll see you on the other side.
Endeavour Houston, we concur.
Commander Steve Oswald verifying the orbital maneuvering system burn in progress aboard the vehicle. And we're just about to move out of range of our communications network again as the orbiter is passing just to the southeast of Madagascar on the first orbit of the mission, beginning a track across the central portions of the Indian Ocean. Endeavour is currently out of range of our communications network. We should reacquire that signal in just a couple of minutes. Just before we lost the data link with the orbiter and the communications link, we were watching over the crew's shoulders through the orbital maneuvering system burn to circularize the orbit, and we'll be standing by to look at data to confirm a successful burn. It only had about 30 seconds or so to go when we lost that communications link. The orbiter's again traveling across the Indian Ocean and should skirt across the upper western coast of Australia before heading across the Pacific Ocean. This is a 28.5-degree inclination orbit mission, which means Endeavour's orbit will track 28.5 degrees below and above the equator throughout this 15.5-day mission. A reminder upcoming in about 15 minutes at 1:45 this morning Central Time, 2:45 Eastern Time will be the traditional post-launch press conference, which will be held at the Kennedy Space Center press site. That will be carried on NASA television. The scheduled participants are Lauren Shriver, who is the manager of launch integration for the Space Shuttle program. He'll also be joined by Jim Harrington, who is the launch director. Again, that's scheduled to occur in about 20 minutes from now.
Endeavour Houston, we're back with you on TDRS West, and we can verify good residuals, good burn.
Roger that. You're loud, clear, and we concur.
Endeavour Houston, we'd like to confirm, since we were LOS, that the OHMS TVC gimbal check was performed and okay, and we'll pull the data.
Houston, we can confirm the OHMS TVC gimbal check was performed, both primary and secondary were good.
Endeavour Houston, we copy, and we show us in the post-insertion book, and we'll be following along with you.
Roger that. We're about to start block 1 right now.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're approaching the 1-hour point in Endeavour's mission as the orbiter is tracking across Australia on a northeasterly track. We'll be moving from daylight into darkness in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, just before crossing the equator to begin orbit number 2 of the mission. Aboard the orbiter, the crew has finished work in the ascent checklist and has transitioned to the post-insertion timeline. That usually runs for about 2 hours or so from the point of launch to the 2.5-hour point in the mission. At that point, 4 of the crew members will get ready to go to sleep. They've been up for about 10 hours prior to launch, and so the red team, as they're called throughout the flight, will go to sleep for a 6-hour sleep period, and the blue team will conduct the activation procedures for the astronomy telescopes mounted in Endeavour's payload bay. The red team throughout the flight is made up of Commander Steve Oswald, pilot Bill Gregory, and mission specialist John Grunsfeld, along with payload specialist Ron Parise. The blue team, made up of mission specialist Wendy Lawrence, who's also the flight engineer on the mission, mission specialist Tammy Jernigan, who is the payload commander for this flight, and Sam Durrance, who is payload specialist. They'll conduct the Space Lab activation procedures before they will go to sleep about 11 hours or so into the flight after the red team wakes up. But all activities thus far have gone very smoothly. The launch this morning was about a minute or so later than the opening of the launch window, but the ascent was very smooth. None of the flight control positions monitored any issues at all with the orbiter systems during the ascent phase, and it has been very quiet in the room thus far this morning as the team watches over the crew's shoulders through the post-insertion timeline. The crew maneuvered the orbiter shortly after reaching orbit to take some photographs of the external tank, which has become fairly traditional to document the external tank as it falls away from the orbiter. Kurt Brown here in Mission Control did make a call to the crew, basically giving them a range of the external tank from the orbiter as it was being tracked from the ground. because of the 1 minute later launch, it created a different time for the sunrise, which meant that the crew could not get a good visual of the
Endeavour
tank.
Houston, we have a change to your DAP before the maneuver. You have future loaded when you get a chance.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Steve, to save a little forward prop, we'd like to change DAP Alpha to A6 and then select DAP A6 Alt.
Okay, we'll go DAP A6 and we'll select A6 Alt.
That's a good readback, and we'll stay in that configuration until we're configured for burns.
Roger that.
So again, Kurt Brand was simply reading the crew some numbers, telling them at what distance the external tank was so that they would get a good visual of it to take some photographs as it fell away from the orbiter.
Endeavour Houston, no need to respond, but when we do go to burns, we'll stay in the A6, so all we'll have to do is select burns.
Roger that. Well, thanks for the heads up, Chris. Appreciate it.
In just a couple of minutes, we'll switch back to the Kennedy Space Center for the post-launch news conference, again, which is scheduled to occur in just a couple of minutes. As we get the folks lined up for that briefing, they have to come back over to the press site from the Launch Control Center. The scheduled participants are Jim Harrington, who is the launch director, and he'll be joined by Lauren Shriver, who's the manager for launch integration for the shuttle program.
Houston Endeavour, we think we're finished with Block 1. If you want to have Gary check us over, and we think the DAP is configured properly for the maneuver.
Endeavour Houston, everyone down here concurs with you.
Roger that.
Endeavour Houston, for Bill when you get a chance.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, Bill, we're looking at the LH2 MPS manifold pressures. We're seeing it slowly rise, so we have a manual vacuum inerting for you to do, and we have about 3 switches to move. When you're ready to do that, we need to get on with that action. Let me know and I'll read the switches to you.
Go ahead, Kurt. Ready for the first one.
Okay, the first switch is on panel R2, pneumatic helium ISO. We'd like to take that switch to open, OP.
Kurt, the pneumatic helium isolation switch is open, OP.
Okay, copy. On panel R4, the fill and drain switches, we'd like the fill and drain LH2 outboard to close for 10 seconds.
Understand. Fill and drain LH2 outboard to close for 10 seconds. Stand by.
Copy that, and after 10 seconds, you can go ahead and take it back to open.
Roger, stand by. I'll put it in work. Okay, Kurt, the LH2 fill and drain outboard was open for 10 seconds and is now closed.
Endeavour Houston, for Bill, we see a good vacuum inert. We'd like to take that switch, the fill and drain outboard, back to the ground position.
Roger, Kurt, it's in work.
And Bill, that completes our manual vacuum inert.
Roger, Kurt, copy, and understand you want the pneumatic helium isolation left and open.
And Bill, that's a good catch. You can take it back to GPC also.
Roger, Kurt, consider that complete. Houston, Endeavor, any interested scorekeeping. Blocks 3, 4, 5, and 7 are done, and we'll be on the doors here in just a minute.
Endeavor Houston, Oz, we concur, and we appreciate the calls.
You bet.
Endeavor Houston, no action on your N2 message.
Roger that. Thanks, Marco.
This is Mission Control Houston back here in the flight control room. During the press conference, the crew has been proceeding through post-insertion activities. They're in the process of opening the orbiter's payload bay doors, and Ascent Flight Director Rich Jackson has done a preliminary poll of the flight control team members to get a go or no-go for the orbit operations, which is a traditional call signaling the activities leading towards staying in orbit for the duration of the flight. So as soon as the payload bay doors are open...
Endeavor Houston, just words on the N2 message. It was a Timbu update, and we're in the process of updating it even further.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. Thanks for the heads up.
So as soon as the payload bay doors are open, we'll be giving the crew that go for orbit operations shortly, once we verified that the doors are open and there were no issues associated with that. As Endeavour begins a skirt across the Baja Peninsula on the second orbit of the mission, here in the flight control room as well, the shift change is underway from the Ascent team to the next shift of flight controllers. The oncoming team will be led by Flight Director Al Pennington. The handover or the shift change usually occurs or takes about half an hour to an hour or so, depending on any issues that need to be discussed. Again, as mentioned earlier, there were no issues with the ascent phase of the mission this morning, and it should be a fairly clean and quick handover to the oncoming flight control team.
Endeavor Houston, you have a go for orbit ops.
Roger that. Go for orbit ops.
Spacecraft communicator Kurt Brown here in Mission Control, giving Commander aboard Endeavour, Steve Oswald, a go for orbit operations.
Houston, Endeavour, we've got the doors open and good times.
Endeavor Houston, we concur with all that.
And the flight control team watched over the crew's shoulders throughout the opening of the payload bay doors, ensuring that that was a good operation. And again, the crew has been given a go for orbit operations at the 1 hour 39-minute mark of the mission. With that, the crew has transitioned, or will shortly transition, from the post-insertion timeline to the on-orbit timeline, at which point in about an hour or so, the half of the crew will get ready to go to sleep.
Houston, Endeavour, you ready for Block 10?
Endeavor Houston, ECOM says we need to wait a few more minutes for the temperature.
Roger that. Looking at the first half of the block. Thanks.
Endeavor Houston, while we're waiting, we have the Timbu change procedure for the water loop that we will not be using to protect it, as we had briefed pre-flight. It's Eclipse SSR number 10, so when you have the mile book out and ready, it's on page 6-149. Let me know and I can give you some more words.
Roger that. Stand by. We'll go look. It's Eclipse SSR 10 on 6-149.
Roger that.
Endeavour's crew is split into two shifts, a red team and a blue team. The red team will be going to sleep officially going to sleep in the next hour to 2 hours. The red team is made up of Commander Steve Oswald, Pilot Bill Gregory, Mission Specialist John Grunsfeld, and payload specialist Ron Parise. The blue team of Wendy Lawrence, Tammy Jernigan, and Sam Durrance will watch over the orbiter and continue activation procedures associated with the astronomy telescopes that are mounted in Endeavour's payload bay.
Copy.
Houston Endeavour, we're ready to copy in Eclipse SSR-6.
Endeavour Houston, Eclipse SSR number 10, page 6-149. It's the water pump ops via GPC procedure. We would like you to perform steps 3, 5, 6, and 8. And what that'll do is it'll update our cycle time and reset the GPC cycle time immediately to protect that water loop.
Okay, Kurt, we copy. Eclipse SSR-10, steps 3, 5, 6, and 8.
Steve, that's a good readback, and the later on at about MET02:30, there's an SM checkpoint initiate. That will not be required now.
Roger that, we copy.
And Endeavour Houston, to step number 3 there, it says the SM checkpoint initiate Q card. As you probably know, there's no Q card now. That's in the orbit ops.
Yeah, we're just getting that out. Thanks a lot. Houston Endeavour, Eclipse SSR-10 is complete, as you probably saw. And if you could take a look over all the messages we got, we think all those are nominal, but give it a look if you would.
Endeavour Houston, we were actually just doing that, and all the messages that we see we like. And ECOM also says you have a go for block number 10. We're waiting till you're finished to let you know.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll put it in work.
Endeavour Houston, no need to respond, but you do have a go for vernier control. I should say you have a go for configure for vernier control.
Okay, we'll go ahead and configure for burns. Thanks a lot, Cook. Houston Endeavour, we're ready for APU steam vent heater activation if you are.
Endeavour Houston, we are ready for the APU steam vent heater activation.
Thank you, Kurt. Houston Endeavour, you ready for the KU antenna deploy?
Endeavour Houston, we are waiting breathlessly for KU antenna deploy.
Okay, we are too.
Endeavour Houston, just to let you know, the Orbit 2 team is briefed and ready to take you on for another 16 days. And you had a fantastic and beautiful beginning to your mission. And since weather cooperated with us today, Flight says that he can hardly wait to St. Patty's Day to see you again on the ground.
Okay, well, thanks a lot to all you guys for getting us here. And it's a lot of fun going uphill, and we'll look for an entry on like Flight Day 18.
We copy that, and Flight is all smiles.
Oh, that's good. We are too. And thanks a lot, Coach. Great job.
Yeah, Endeavour, y'all did a super job here in Ascent, and the rest of 16 days goes as our 2 hours have gone so far. It'll be a superb mission, so good luck.
Thanks a lot. We'll chat with you here in a couple of weeks and a half.
Astronaut Kurt Brown, spacecraft communicator on the Ascent shift this morning, signing off for the team. The handover to the oncoming flight control team is completed. The oncoming team will be led by Flight Director Al Pennington. Again, recapping, we're 2 hours into Endeavour's 8th mission. The launch this morning was basically perfect. None of the flight control team members were monitoring any issues with Endeavour throughout the launch phase and up to this point at the 2-hour mark into the flight.
Houston, Endeavour.
Go ahead, Oz.
We've got a leak indication on L5D.
Roger that. Oz, select Alt DAP for now, and we're going to check if it's a false or true fail leak.
Roger that. We're back in auto and Alt DAP.
Affirmative. Oz, for your information.
Houston, Endeavour working through KO activation. It looks like the KU has failed self-test.
Endeavour, we saw that. We've talked to INCO. We're go for KU operations nominally.
Okay, copy, go for nominal KU.
Affirmative. It may be a warm receiver, but we're looking at it. And Oz, will probably stay in this DAP configuration on down until we do an IDIN a good bit later while we look at this.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll go ahead and stay in the Alt DAP and let you look.
Houston, Endeavour, do we have a go for spaceflight activation?
Go ahead, Endeavour. Say again, please.
Yeah, Houston, do we have a go for spaceflight activation?
Tammy, we're polling around the room, and we have a minute and a half to hand over.
Okay.
Endeavour, Houston, on Spacelab activation. We're a minute to the ZOE. We'll pick you back up at 2+27. We will be go on the other side after one final poll around the room here. We'll check back with you.
Okay, Dave, we understand, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Houston, Endeavour, you want to look for at the data there? We think we're complete on A1 through A9.
Copy, we're looking.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're at a mission elapsed time of 2 hours and 21 minutes, and the orbiter Endeavour has just moved out of range of our communication satellites. We will reacquire voice and data link with the orbiter in about 5 minutes. Here in Flight Control Room number 1, we have completed a change of shift, and the Orbit 2 team is currently manning the consoles here in the Mission Control Center. This team is being led by Flight Director Al Pennington. This particular team does have a relatively short shift this evening. They will be replaced here in the Flight Control Center at about 8 a.m. Central Time. The handover from the ascent team to the Orbit 2 team went very smoothly as the orbiter Endeavour performs very well as it gets settled on orbit for its 8th flight. There are no systems problems that we are monitoring here in the flight control room at this time. The red team, which includes Commander Steve Oswald, Pilot Bill Gregory, Mission Specialist John Grunsfield, and Payload Specialist Ron Parise, is in the process of wrapping up its first day in space. They will be turning in for a 6-hour sleep period in about an hour and 8 minutes. The blue team, however, which includes Mission Specialist Wendy Lawrence, Payload Commander Tammy Jernigan, and Payload Specialist Sam Durantz, however, is in the process of starting to get ready to activate our instruments for the Astro 2 mission. The Astro 2 mission, which will be one of NASA's longest shuttle flights to date, is carrying some unique ultraviolet telescopes on board that will give astronomers a view of the universe that is impossible to obtain from the ground. And we do have a short feature we'd like to run for you now that gives you a little more information on the Astro 2 mission. Once again, the crew members will begin activating the instruments and the telescopes that comprise the Astro 2 payload here in a few minutes. The procedures call for them to first activate the Space Lab pallet, then activate the instrument pointing system before moving on to activate, in this order, the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope, the Wisconsin Ultraviolet Polarimeter Experiment, and the Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope. All those activities are being monitored at the Payload Operations Control Center out in Huntsville, Alabama at the Marshall Space Flight Center. With that, Endeavour is just about back into range of our communication satellites, and this is Mission Control Houston.
Endeavour AOS Tidris West. Endeavour AOS Tidris West.
Loud and clear, Houston.
You also. And Tammy, you are go for Space Lab activation. We wanted to wait so we could have insight into these buses. You're now go.
Understand. Go for Space Lab act. We'll put it to work in a minute.
Endeavour on your DAP configuration.
Go ahead.
We have a note to read up to load DAPs A11 and B11 when you're ready to copy.
Stand by, Houston.
Houston, Endeavour.
Go ahead, Oz.
Hey, Dave, you had a note, I guess, on A11.
Yes, sir. We would like to load DAPs A11 and B11 per the DAP flipbook. Alt-jet option for tail only, and then change over to DAP B11. Actually change A and B to the A and B11. Then select DAP B11 Alt, and we'll remain in this configuration until we work out our vernier situation. And that'll be at the time we get to the first IDIN.
Okay, Dave, copy. We'll go ahead and load up A11, B11 tail option, and we'll fly B11 Alt.
Affirmative.
And Houston, Endeavour, to give you a heads up, I'm going to start rolling out the MPMs.
Your go, we're watching.
Yeah, Houston and Endeavour, I'm going to try this again on the MPMs. I didn't get a full run time, and I inadvertently went back to the stoke position.
Stand by, Wendy. Endeavour, Houston, Wendy, we concur. Your go to redeploy.
Yeah, that's been working this time. I'll keep my finger off the switch.
Roger. Endeavour, Oz, words on your vernier jets.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oz, we see a signature indicating a false fail leak. It is a false fail leak. We have a pre-flight approved GMEM to use the alternate transducer. We're processing that paperwork. It should be ready within a few hours prior to our planned usage of verniers.
Okay, thanks. That kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? We'll go ahead and use the alt-DAP until you have us ready to go for burns.
Affirmative. Endeavour Wendy, we see you deployed, and we have verified stow redundancy.
Okay, that sounds good. Houston Endeavour for Space Lab.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, block 1 is complete. Just a couple notes. In step 2, the subsystem AC/DC power light was not on, so as was pre-briefed, I went to on, and the light is now on. In addition, we got a Freon pump message, but we think Freon pump 1 is healthy at this time.
Tammy, we concur with your analysis. We see a good pump also. You're going to press on. We'll try to understand why we got the message and get back to you.
Proceeding with block 2.
Houston Endeavour.
Go ahead, Endeavour.
Yeah, David, Wendy's heading down to get TIPS activation, and of course Tammy's still working Space Lab activation. Other than that, we think we're done with post-insertion, and if you guys could take a look over A11 and B11, we got those in.
Thanks, Oz. We'll look at them. Endeavour, Oz, DAP.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oz, I'd like you to check one parameter. That's the alt rate deadband on A11. We'd like it 0.07.
Okay, Dave, sure did miss it. It's fixed now. Thanks a lot.
Endeavour, Houston, Oz, would you make that DAP change permanent with a complete load into item into B11?
Yeah, I sure will. Sorry. Now, Houston Endeavour was already in there in the edit column, but I went ahead and did the item 5 again. I guess that should do it.
Okay, Oz, and I meant A11, and we'll check if it's permanent.
Disregard. We'll catch you there.
Endeavour Space Lab, we expect messages when you bring up the DDS, 5 of them.
We copy, Dave.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're at a mission lapse time of 2 hours and 53 minutes. The orbiter Endeavour is currently making its third circle of the Earth after having a almost on-time liftoff from the Kennedy Space Center. Liftoff was delayed about a minute and 13 or so seconds. But since it's been on orbit, Endeavour has performed very well, and at this point there are no major systems problems we're tracking here in the flight control room. The crew on board Endeavour is in the process of getting the equipment set up and ready to begin its observations for the next 16 or so days. That activity is being done by the blue team. For this mission, the 7-member crew is divided into 2 teams, a red team and a blue team, so that we can have 24 hours of observations with the Astro 2 instruments. The blue team consists of Mission Specialist Wendy Lawrence, Payload Commander Tammy Jernigan, and Payload Specialist Sam Durrance. The red team, which consists of Commanders Steve Oswald, Pilot Bill Gregory, Mission Specialist John Grunsfield, and Payload Specialist Ron Parise, is getting ready for a 6-hour sleep period, which will begin in about 35 minutes. As we said before, Tammy Jernigan is in the process of activating some of the early part of the instruments for the Astro 2 payload. Right now she is working through the activation procedures for the Space Lab pallet. This activation procedure takes about an hour, and she's been working on it for roughly 20 or so minutes. So far everything in that activation is going very well. After the pallet is activated, the crew members will continue on with the activation of the instrument pointing system, and then we'll power up the telescopes that comprise the Astro 2 payload themselves. This is the second flight of the Astro 2 payload. This particular payload is designed to give astronomers a view of the universe which is impossible to obtain from the ground. The 3 instruments on board the Astro 2 payload will be looking at a variety of celestial objects, and we'll be studying them in the ultraviolet spectrum.
Endeavour Houston, IMU line.
Go ahead.
Oz, we have 2 good stars in the table, 46 and 32. You go for an IMU align. We have the data.
Okay, I understand that you've got the data. The number is 46 and 32, and we'll go ahead and torque the platform.
Affirmative.
Endeavour is currently just to the west of the Hawaiian Islands and will be flying over those islands within the next few minutes as it orbits the Earth at an altitude of roughly 190 nautical miles. We're at a mission elapsed time of 2 hours and 57 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Endeavour orbiter state vector coming up.
Roger that, David. Hey, Houston Endeavour, look like you're good aligned to us. We've got the smoke detection circuit test completed. We're ready for PCS1 config if you are.
As we confirm a good align.
Roger that. We'll go ahead and configure PCS1 and get EDO pallet activation if you're ready.
Oz, we're go.
Roger that. Houston Endeavour, cabin press is 14.7 on the system and 15.0 on the gauge.
Copy 14.7 and 15.0. Thanks, Oz.
And Houston Endeavour relative to Block 5 of Space Lab activation?
We're looking at Block 5. Go ahead.
Yeah, now in that DDS2 amps occurred when we power cycled the DDS from the back of the computer. And DDS number 2 is now looking good.
We copy all. DPS understands it. Endeavour, Tammy, everything looks good to us with the DDS now. Would you clarify, was this your initial power-up or another power cycle?
This was another power cycle from the back of the computer. When we initially turned the IU power on, the screen remained blank.
Okay, Tammy, thanks. DPS copies. Be advised, Tammy, you're go to proceed. We'll keep watching it.
I understand. And Houston Endeavour for Space Lab.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, DDS number 2 at the bottom of the screen has the standard checking system BIOS, but we have not got the press any key to proceed. And the disco light is still on.
Copy, DPS is looking at it.
Okay, and Dave, while they're looking at it, I could go ahead and proceed with Block 6.
Affirmative, Tammy. Your go to continue into Block 6. We'll keep watching the DDS-2.
Walker. Houston Endeavour for Space Lab.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, Block 6 is complete, with the exception of the problem with DDS number 2. I'm going to proceed with Block 7 and 8, and I assume you'll let me know when your patch is ready to come on board.
Copy, Tammy. Your go to continue into Block 7 and 8. After Block 8, please advise us and hold, and we'll send up the patch. We want to send the patch before we continue with payload activation.
Houston Endeavour Space Lab activation is complete.
Copy. Space Lab activation complete. Great job. And please hold on payload activation.
We understand. We'll hold on payload activation until you inform us the patch is on board.
Affirmative.
Houston Endeavour. Houston Endeavour.
Go ahead, Endeavour.
Hey, Dave, we're ahead on a couple things here. Take a look over PCS-1 activation. It's complete, if you would. EDO pallet activation and the cryo heater sensor check you probably saw is complete.
Copy. PCS-1, EDO activation, and cryo heater sensor check. Thanks.
And Houston Endeavour for IPS.
IPS is listening, Tammy.
Yeah, we're also looking for a go for IPS activation part 1.
Endeavour, Tammy, you are go for IPS activation part 1. And be advised your ECAS memory patches are on their way up.
Okay, Houston, good job getting the patches on board early, and we'll start IPS activation part 1. Thanks.
AOS Tidris East.
Copy, Houston.
This is Mission Control, Houston. We're at a mission elapsed time of 3 hours and 22 minutes. The orbiter Endeavour is now just to the north of the South American continent, and on this pass will sweep over the northeastern coast of South America. This is its third orbit of the Earth, following a launch at about 12:38 a.m. Central Time this morning from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Since that time, Endeavour and the crew on board Endeavour has been configured and is getting geared up for the activities that will follow on the next 16 or so days. The red team on board the orbiter is just about 7 or so minutes away from beginning a 6-hour sleep period, while the blue team, which consists of Payload Commander Tammy Jernigan, Mission Specialist Wendy Lawrence, and Payload Specialist Sam Durance, are in the process of powering up the instruments, and will begin powering up the telescopes of the Astro 2 payload very shortly. The crew has completed the activation of the Space Lab pallet and
Houston Endeavour for Space Lab.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Yeah, we got a 213 experiment row error. However, the status went from 03 back to 00.
Copy. We see the 213 RAW error. Copy status 03 and then back to 00. IPS and CDMS are looking at it.
Currently underway is the activation of the instrument pointing system. This is the system that will be used to point the different telescopes at their celestial targets for our scientific observations for this mission. The activation of the pallet and so far of the instrument pointing system has gone very well. There have been a few minor funnies that we've seen as these instruments have come online, but those anomalies have cleared up and everything seems to be working very well. The power up and the check out of the instrument pointing system takes a little bit longer than the activation of the Space Lab pallet does. The instrument pointing system will be powered up and checked out over the next several hours as the different scientific instruments are powered up and activated as well. All these activities, besides being monitored here in the Flight Control Center in Houston, are also being monitored by the...
Houston Endeavour for Space Lab.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Yeah, Houston, I went to MAL 2.4 Bravo and didn't take any action, but just went through the blocks and ended up in Block 14 with some transient error instrumentation problems.
Copy that, Tammy.
The activation activities are being monitored by the Payload Operations Control Team in Huntsville, Alabama. We'll now switch our satellite out to Alabama to see how the activities are progressing there.
In Houston, I'm ready to proceed with Step 5 and Part 1 of IPS activation whenever you are.
Copy, Tammy, or go to proceed.
Okay.
Endeavour, Houston, Tammy.
Go ahead, Dave.
Tammy, our plan here in the immediate future is to go ahead and, after Step 7 in IPS activation Part 1, while we're waiting for the gyros to warm up, we can hand over the DDS, the single DDS that we have. If you have any parts that you need that DDS to check on things with, you can call us. We have insight. And at that same time, we'll split the air-to-ground loops, and we'll wait for your call after initiating Step 7.
Okay, we're about there. Okay, Houston Endeavour, we are finished with Step 7 and IPS activation.
Copy, we concur, and would just like to confirm that you can begin payload activation at this time, and we'll split the air-to-ground loops. We'll hand over air-to-ground 2 to the POC.
Yeah, Sam's getting ready to start payload activation now, and we'll get everything we need to go split air-to-grounds up here. And Dave, did I hear you telling me that for Step 8 I will not have a DDS?
Well, you can share it with Sam, but if you need to, we can confirm any calls you'd like to make it flow easier.
Okay.
Space Lab Houston, we're not split yet on the ground. We'll give you a call when we get the air-to-grounds configured.
Houston Endeavour for IPS. Houston Endeavour for IPS.
Go ahead, Tammy. IPS is listening.
Okay, Dave. IPS activation Part 1 is complete. In Step 8, all values were within limits.
Copy. Part 1's complete. All values within limits. Be advised you are now split dual air-to-ground. We'll be with you on air-to-ground 1.
Okay, Dave. I'll touch you on air-to-ground 1, and Sam will expect to the POC on air-to-ground 2.
Affirmative. They're ready to check in.
This is Mission Control Houston. We are receiving some television pictures of the payload bay of Endeavour as it makes its third orbit. The instruments that you see in the payload bay comprise the Astro 2 payload. These instruments over the next several hours will be powered up and checked out on orbit so that we can begin our astronomy observations. There are 3 telescopes that comprise the package of the Astro 2 observatory. They are the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope, the Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope, the Wisconsin Ultraviolet Photopolarimeter Experiment, and these 3 experiments are all designed to get different perspectives on the same celestial objects. They complement the observations that were done on the Astro 1 mission several years ago, and they also complement or will be complementing the data that is collected by other instruments such as the Hubble Space Telescope, the International Ultraviolet Explorer, and the Extreme Ultraviolet Explorer. Right now, these telescopes are in the stowed position, and during the activation procedures, the platform will be raised and positioned for the beginning of our scientific investigations and observations.
TIPS test message number 1 is on board.
While the activation of the experiments is beginning, or of the telescopes and the instrument pointing system
No hurry.
is getting started, the crew is also wrapping up the activation and the configuration of the orbiter Endeavour so that it can support
and Houston
our
Endeavour, I
operations.
got 2 pages, message 1, star pads. And they look good.
Copy, it's good news.
So far, all activities are proceeding to are continuing to go very well as we come to the 3-hour and 38-minute mark of STS-67. This is Mission Control, Houston.
This is Space Lab Mission Operations in Huntsville, and as we receive this live video now from Endeavour, we get some of the first good views of the systems that'll be used for the Astro 2 observations over the next 16 days or so.
Yeah, Sam. Good morning, and since we are down to 1 BDS at the moment, we are going to do the ISBF survival steps from the ground. So there's no need for you to do that. We expect.
And again, this video shows us some of the first actual live views of the Astro 2 payload in Endeavour's cargo bay. From this vantage point at the forward end of the cargo bay, we can see the instrument pointing system. Of course, that's the mounting platform for the 3 ultraviolet telescopes.